Cat,
Hi.
Curve,
Saluton.
Kay,
Greetings.
Benny,
Hello.
and Romulus.
Ciao.
And of course, the wonderful DM and storyteller that is me. We are back after 2 weeks off. I needed that break. I've gotten plenty done in that time. My brain is now up and running once again, even if a little bit with the lack of discipline and motivation in certain areas, but still going. It's okay.
That's
Well,
the
I
point of
think-
a holiday.
Exactly.
Do you need a holiday after the holiday?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Oh well. So, are we all sitting comfortably?
Not sure. I'll get back to you in about half hour.
Comfortable enough.
Comfortable enough.
Mhm.
That's good. That's what I like to hear. I hope you all enjoyed your time off. I've spent mine cultivating a few ideas and compiling my notes. But let's kick things off with a joke, shall we? Did you know that my stomach medication and the end of campaign 1 are the same? Gavin Scone. But anyway,
Oh, that one was
The last-
just terrible.
I
I
hate that.
know. But anyway, the last place we left our party of oddly assorted adventurers, Cat, Kay, Curve, Romulus, and Vinny, were in the jailhouse. No surprise there. After an attempted burglary, otherwise gone wrong. With the party trying to cover for Kay and avoid further incrimination, Kay decided to step in and fess up to the whole charade by telling the truth of all things.
We would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling rats.
With the event hopefully concluded with the event of this meddling rat, the party were left to their devices, heading to bed for the most part, and resting in the firefly stacks under the vigilant watch of some of the watchmen. With 2 or 3 days at their hands, due to the city restrictions that they are now under, the party must now decide how they're going to fill their time. With a number of you otherwise headed back, the celebrations dying down for the day within Zaker's Crossing, you make your way back and eventually arrive at the Firefly Stacks, with Kay you arriving later on in the evening. Most of you head in, and with the events that have transpired, given that it's probably close to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, go straight to bed. Is there anything any of you would like to do prior to this, of course?
No.
Start making plans for the intricate woodcut that I'm going to make for a certain investigator.
Oh, God.
I was thinking of a beautiful landscape, perhaps of my mountain home. What do you think, Chris? Oh, great voice in the sky.
I
If-
think you should go to bed before you get to point of exhaustion.
I
Maybe
think-
2 while I'm at it.
I think Blenoir Bonk would be very happy with it. Yes, I'll go to bed, but I will be thinking about, before I head to bed, just thinking about
Him.
just any ideas I might have in that regard.
Okay,
And him.
and him.
I was
Look, you made Blenoir Bonk, and that is his name until you tell me otherwise.
Okay, what were you going to do, sir?
if I remember correctly, Cat did no identify, right?
Yes. However, Cat
I-
has headed to bed, and you are arriving later than them.
Okay. I was going to see if they were awake. If not, then I would be going to bed.
I'll say,
Hmm,
as you
I
otherwise
would
get
stay
there.
up until
Oh.
I would stay up until Kay gets back, but then go to bed.
Okay, so I'll say, Kay, as you return, you walk into the Firefly Stacks, which the lower levels aren't locked. The ways directly into the sleeping quarters are, but you can see that one of the kind of the night attendants is there. Celebrations have died down. They put up most of the chairs, but you can see that Vinny is in one of the corner cubicles, currently just sat there waiting. And as you enter in, the place is deathly quiet, but you can still smell the very pungent alcoholic and acidic smells of the interior.
Yeah.
But you do spot Vinny.
I go over to Vinny.
Mhm.
Hello.
Okay. Hey, I'm glad you're all right.
Same. I honestly, I didn't think I'd make it out of there. I don't know who those people were.
No, I've no idea. And they didn't just take the thing we were after, did they?
No, they took more.
Hmm.
There were a total of 4 things there, 4 magical items. But I got this. And Kay pulls out the bag of 200 platinum.
Yep. You see that as Kay just kind of reaches into his bag and pulls out what looks to be a sack that's a little bit soggy now, given it's been in your bag for a little bit. But you pull out he pulls out what looks to be a kind of a sizable pouch. And as he places it on the table, you can see the interior is just platinum.
Okay, so we're not completely empty-handed.
I also got this, but I don't know what to do. And I take out the box with the medical thing, metal thing.
Oh, the metal cylinder.
Yeah,
Hmm. Well,
I don't know what to do.
Cat's asleep right now, but I'm sure she'll be able to take a look at it once she wakes up.
Oh, dang.
Bearing in mind I have a +0 to this, is there any way that I would be able to get any idea of what this is?
I would say, in this instance, I'll say make me just a general arcana check. This won't be to necessarily identify the item, just to see what you might be able to discern from
Yeah.
it. 9.
That's a 9.
You look at it, I mean, under close inspection, you are able to tell that whatever it is may be magical, but you can't tell. There's no, like, clear signs or clear grooves. It doesn't glow in the dark or anything. And as you kind of give it a look, it's just kind of this weird cylinder shape.
Well, it's neat.
It was also the only thing that was hidden properly.
It probably does something, then. And if
Maybe.
our guy was that desperate to keep it safe... I don't know, it might be a clue? We'll see. Anyway, we're going to have a lot to do tomorrow, so I guess we'd better head to bed.
Yes.
Right. Well, thank you, Kay. I know you took a big risk staying there by yourself.
Only choice I saw to be able to try and get it. I just didn't know he'd have them sitting out in the living room. Or the kitchen, the dining room. Dining area. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, when I got the message saying it was going to be disappearing, I assumed he'd found someone to sell it to.
Same. I was waiting for others to show up to distract the guards by letting them in. But it definitely seemed like they didn't know anybody else was coming.
Well, clearly someone knew the attack was going to happen. So, first thing tomorrow, I'll go and find our contact.
I'll probably come with you. I don't have anything else to do. I also have to give these to Kat, and I pull out the ink and paper as well. I didn't put the paper in a spot where it could get messed up either.
Okay. Just making sure. Did you write down how much it was quantity-wise?
Yeah, 250 of each. You told me to put it straight in my inventory.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's
I'm
fine.
just doing it in RP wise.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay. So, otherwise heading to bed, both of you clamber into bed, otherwise resting up, and and all of you recover from a full rest.
Oh, no more exhaustion.
No more exhaustion for those of you who had them. You may get rid of that 1 point of exhaustion if you would have had it. You can restore your abilities, half your hit dice, all of your health, and all of your spell slots or spell points. As each of you awake, given the nighttime activities and the events that have transpired, most of you are waking up closer to noon, something I am not too dissimilar with. But you wake up with the day as it is, otherwise not much light coming through, as most of you are within rooms that have no windows for the most part. Given the way that the city is built, there is very little access into the rooms that you are currently encased in. But you can tell from what seems to be a gentle rise in the glow of the convenience crystals, they seem to be tuned to the light outside, in some fashion or other. You're not entirely certain. But each of you wake one after another from your rest. So, what does the day bring as you otherwise convene with your party on your first day of events?
Well, first things first, I need this identified. Cat!
Okay.
I think I hear something.
Cat!
Sounds like an angry frog.
I have something for you.
Are you knocking on our door? Or are you just
Yes.
randomly shouting in a hallway somewhere?
I am knocking on your door.
Okay, because both options are viable via K, right? Okay. I guess I'll go to the door. Yeah, that's in my house. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
go to the door.
Okay, going to the door, you open it up, you see little K outside just rapping on the door, holding what looks to be this weird kind of cylindrical metal thing in his hand.
If you can identify this for me, I got something for you in return.
Hi, it's good to see you're safe. Good morning.
Hi.
The watchman, who's otherwise standing outside, just kind of yawns. Good morning.
Morning. Okay. Okay. So Cheney is awake.
Oh, hi.
Okay.
I want you to know I am awake. I'm just not getting up because I don't want to.
Quite the
Okay.
role model. So,
You're all very loud.
so what do you... Okay. No. What do you want me to do? What's this?
Identify this cylindrical thingy.
Okay.
It's a cylinder.
Yes. I mean, you're not wrong. It is. Okay, come in. Have we got desks or anything in our... I mean,
Yeah.
actually, we'll have it.
You got a table that you're able to work with.
Okay, I'll put it on the table. And it's like, I'm gonna have... This is gonna take a little while. And take...
I'll make it worth your while. Kay starts pulling out the paper and ink.
Let's go. Just inhales. Right. I am going to ritual cast identify.
Okay. You take some time to do it, but with the object in the center, you otherwise have a look at it, and you begin to identify it. It is otherwise a metallic cylinder. As you otherwise get a little bit better of a look of it and you begin to understand it, you begin to spot some things which are a little bit subtler in its general design. But it has what looks to be 4 switches on the side of it, with what looks to be simple clips holding them in place. As you finish the identify ritual spell, you reach down, you grab the cylinder, and you kind of give it a light twist in opposite directions from each end of it, and pull as it extends into a spyglass. As you now know the information regarding a spyglass of surveillance. Would you like me to just post it into the general Discord?
Yeah, just post it in general.
For those of you at home who might want to know what this does, a spyglass of surveillance, when activated, can leave a surveillance orb behind on a surface that you are looking at through the spyglass. You can have up to 4 of these surveillance orbs active at once. These orbs are invisible but can be seen by any creature with true sight or similar effects. At any point, you can look through the spyglass and select an orb to look through, and see what it sees. While you are doing this, you are considered blinded while doing so.
I like this.
Blinding's fun.
There is something that I have just
raise-
realized that I did forget to add to this, which is how you retrieve them. You retrieve the orbs by deactivating the switch while looking at the orb, so you actively have to go and get them.
If I may
I will
raise
just
a
add
point.
that and just make that adjustment.
What's up, Romulus?
This is not Romulus, this is
Alright.
Harlan fully asking for a clarification here. Is it magical blindness, or is it simply the fact that you've closed one of your eyes and are looking through a telescope and therefore can only look through the telescope?
It's how you would consider it with a familiar, because you're disjointing your location to somewhere else to see through what it sees. So in this instance, it would be magical vision or magical blindness.
I know, it's just very funny to consider just on the basis of, like, it doesn't have to be. It could literally just be, it's like a bloody video. But I get it, It just feels like they went to a lot of trouble to make it like, it magically steals your vision to transpose your thing. You could just have it be a video, like a live stream, just through the lens of the thing. I'm sorry, it's just, someone, like a sorcerer somewhere, or a wizard, went to a lot of effort to create this thing. And I feel like an artificer somewhere is just going to come up to them and slap them on the head for making something just over the top.
No, I get what you mean.
Well,
But yeah.
the original version of it did work like that. Then one of the orbs had a heated gamer moment while on the live stream, and now it has to be pre-recorded.
God, it all makes perfect sense.
So, yes, this is the item that you have now acquired, and obviously now know how to use. So yeah, there are 4 switches. Each of them can create a surveillance orb, and you may look through these surveillance orbs when you want to, as if you were using an object. So it would take an action if you were in combat trying to do this.
Well, there you go. That's what that does. I'll just hand it back.
Do note that it is only visual aid, not audible, so you cannot use it for any of that reason, but you are able to use it for visual.
Useful if you can lip read, then.
Very true.
This changes plans. And
what would
for
happen if Kay swallowed one of the orbs?
Colonoscopy.
Oh my god!
I think that's a good enough answer. You've also just reminded me something that I actually forgot to tell all of you in planning. You all gain inspiration, by the way, given last session's events.
Oh, good. I'll take that.
I forgot to let you know during planning because I was busy sorting out some other stuff, but yes.
Okay.
So yes, mark that into your character sheet. Anyway,
Yes.
Back on track.
To take us immediately off track, has everyone seen the image of the Dubai's plans for the $9 billion gold-plated, diamond-encrusted skyscraper?
No, and this is not the time to take us off track regarding that.
Now back on track. I'm going with Vinny.
Okay. So you and Vinny go downstairs. One of the guards or one of the watchmen who's with you otherwise goes downstairs with you, as you otherwise go to one of the tables.
Are they following us around?
You know, makes
To a
sense.
certain extent, they are watching you because you are under city arrest, effectively.
Well,
Okay, that's fine. We'll find a way to ditch them.
I mean, there's only 2 of them, so
If we scatter.
you can always ask what the situation is.
I will rise from my bed despondently. I don't want to, but I have to. It's one of those days.
You're right there.
Cat sprinkles a bit of yeast over Romulus, so he rises.
Ah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
One bit of housekeeping before we disperse. I want to double check that the platinum that we found in the mines has been properly dispersed. Because my record of it is that I
took
gave
mine.
some of it to Cat, but nobody else has theirs.
Yeah, no, I took my share. No one else has taken theirs yet.
I would
Okay.
like my share, please.
Cool. 10 platinum.
Thank you kindly. You're a good man.
I'll say Curve will take Damien's. Because
Curve's
Damien
still
didn't
asleep.
take his.
Time to lock the door.
We'll
We
call it
can-
trauma pay for the, trans-dimensional
We can
teleportation.
say that if you want to, you can have joined your party at this point. If you want to.
Okay.
Curve doesn't wake up till someone wakes her up. That's how it's always been with Curve.
So we've got to wake Curve up.
I
Game
can't.
on.
The guards who are kind of sort of following us. Can I speak with one of them?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's one sat at your table.
Hello. What's your name?
Hi. Name's Locke. Why?
Am I spelling that L-O-C-K? L-O-Q?
Yeah.
Oh, L-O-C-K. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Locke. We are allowed to purchase items within the city, is this correct?
You're allowed to do whatever you want so long as you stay within the city. We're, for the most part, there's 2 of us here. We're just to make sure that when you come back to stay at this place, that you actually do come back to stay at this place. And if you don't, then we otherwise pass on the information saying otherwise.
Entirely fair. Could I ask, do you know the city well?
Vaguely. I mean, I've done patrols through the Blanton Tollways a lot, so I know my way around.
Excellent. I have gotten so lost in this city.
No, that's
I-
understandable. Have you not been told that there's that you can pay for some guides?
There are guides.
Yes, it's 1 silver an hour. You can pay for a guide to show you around, take you to wherever you want to go. Means you don't get lost. I'm surprised you didn't get snatched up as one as a group. There's usually a few of them near the entrance.
I am afraid that I am going to have to now break our staying in the city because I must now leap off the side of it to my immediate death out of sheer rage. That is a joke to
I'll cast Feather
ensure.
Aw.
That's very sweet of you, Cat.
Immediately, one of the dragonflies just runs you out of the air.
Get wrecked.
Yes, excellent. No, that would have been helpful to know previously. Do you know where I might find good quality wood for carving?
Raw materials is usually below, and as you're not allowed to leave the city, there's not much I can do about that. Otherwise,
Could I?
otherwise the Builders Guild would be the best place to go. The dens are otherwise not too bad. There is one for woodworking, so you could probably find one there. But the dens don't like to share their materials. They prefer to let you buy the expensive stuff, which is their made things. Otherwise, yeah, I'd recommend check
Could I
below.
get delivery on the wood from down below.
They do from time to time. Usually, it's on a case-by-case basis. That goes through the den's own hang cages.
All right,
But
I'll probably
I
have
don't
to
know
try and-
much more than that. A den of bark is what you'd be looking for for carpentry and woodwork.
Right.
There might be others that work with wood, but if they do, I can't say I know which ones they'd be. They're just the main ones I know.
Fair enough. A secondary question.
Mhm.
Who precisely do you report to?
I report to my captain, who then reports to the head of the Watchmen.
And your captain's name is?
Why do you want to know my captain's name?
I'm
Just
trying- If you wish to, well, first of all, I believe I am. It is. I do wish to know who everything is going through to. I presume you are going to report on our movements. I just like to know that sort of thing. Secondly, I would like to know the name of the investigator we spoke to previously. He did not give his name, and I would like to rectify that.
He looks at this
Uh,
guard and just shakes his head no.
The guard kind of looks at you, Kay, and then looks back at Romeus. I've been put under strict orders not to say his name because you lot have been apparently, from what he said in his short interactions, obsessing over him, which is either a side effect of a spell or madness. So we've been told not to give you
Aw.
information beyond our effects. Okay, Curve is now awake then.
I would like to stress we are
That was
neither
me,
mad.
that was just me.
In this particular regard, we are neither mad nor ensorcelled in any way.
And he has said that he would prefer that you do not know his name, and therefore I will not be relinquishing it. My captain, on the other hand, is
Does he have
Captain
a
Biff.
nickname he goes by?
No,
Is there a way that we can refer to him that he would accept?
no, I will leave that at that.
Investigator, perhaps, or
I'm not gonna do it. I was like,
Sure.
I could detect thoughts right now, and now you're pushing.
have you considered? Is his name Blenoir Bong?
Don't make me do some damage to you. I will.
Okay, that's fair enough. Well, is it possible to send a letter of apology to him? I understand we made his night unpleasant, and I do feel a certain level of remorse for that.
If you want to write an official letter, you can, and I'll hand it to my captain and she'll pass it on. But if you're otherwise looking to just say sorry, I can just pass it on as a message to him.
I mean, I'm also fine with that, but I feel it's more sincere to write a personally penned letter.
Okay, I will warn you now that because of this, it will be read prior to being given to him. But
That is absolutely fine by me.
Dear darling, our night was so glorious.
I assure you, it will be entirely PG.
Insight.
No, that is entirely true. It definitely won't be worse than PG. Maybe PG-12. We'll see. A little bit of light swearing. No, excellent.
All of the etchings will be waist up.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh
Indeed.
my god.
wow.
Excellent. Also, where precisely is the Den of Bark?
That would be in the dark alley, so I don't know the exact on where that would be. We patrol the lantern hallways. We deal with more of the commercial and residential areas in terms of selling final goods. In terms of storehouses, that's outside of where I typically work. They're usually on the exterior of the city. Otherwise, you'd be looking at the dens or below in the in
To
Drell.
clarify, the dens are perhaps the best place to hire someone to go down below and pick me up some wood.
Quite possibly, yes. In terms of where the dens are, I wouldn't know because they're not within my patrol pattern.
Very
The
well.
the dens aren't often patrolled. They have their own groups and companies that keep the streets safe.
I understand. Very well. Thank you for your time, Locke. You have been very helpful.
You're welcome.
Is there anything I can do to make your life easier during your time here?
Stay within the law and otherwise return here after a certain time.
Is there
That's
a
something that
curfew
we'll
then?
discuss with all of you when you would like your curfew to be. Obviously, we can set it around somewhere 12 midnight at the latest. Just a time so that we're aware on when you intend to come back, so that we can enforce that in case you go beyond or otherwise
That's fair enough.
don't
I mean,
make it back.
for
We are also
myself,
protecting you.
Oh, yeah,
to
from the
assume
Shiny
12 or
Knights.
beforehand is my intention. Very little would stop me from coming back, mostly unconsciousness or incapacitation.
We're more worried about the Golden Crusaders. That's what I've been informed, that we are to keep an eye out for them and make sure that you are, under paperwork's terms, kept under our eye.
Remit
So if,
and purview, yes.
yes. So as it stands, you being here means that you're not going to have Golden Crusader kicking down your door and trying to slit your throats in your sleep.
Excellent. Also, would you believe that the Den of Bark would have crafting tools to sell as well?
To sell? Possibly. They certainly have tools there. If they don't have them to sell, they have them for hire.
Is there anywhere else that would sell carpentry tools specifically, or woodworking?
There are a number of tool shops not too far from here.
Excellent. Could you point them out on?
Of course, it's up to you. We can either stay here and enforce curfew, or we can come with your groups. It depends on how.
I would actually
if you're
be
planning
fine
on
with
going separate
company
ways.
personally.
Okay, and
I'm not
I
planning
would
on
only
committing
really.
any crimes. You're welcome. Frankly, you can follow me wherever you like. I'm just going to be going about my daily business.
That's all right. It's just I'll only really be traveling with a group if there's 2 or more in a group.
Kat, where do you want to head today?
Well, I mean, I've got all this paper size a rune I want to make, but I would also like to go and see if I can pick up a spell, possibly, that can enable me to talk to you lot.
Fair enough. Give me a second here. Scrolling through the notes, scrolling through the notes, scrolling through the notes. That wouldn't quite be the Den of Shards, would it? Because they're more enchanting. The actual spell work would be a different one.
Hold on, I scrolled off of the dens. Hold on, let me go have a look. Den of Shards is enchanting. Yes.
Yes. So
I believe
you know...
you've been to the other one, which was Den of Books.
Oh, Den of Books.
Yes, but you also know that a lot of the stuff in there was restricted as it falls under public education system. And if you want to
yes, you need to be
acquire
a
stuff there,
scholar.
you need to be part of the educational system, either the college or the scholarships. Yeah.
Now, Locke, this may seem a strange question.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you? Also, what race are you?
I'll say you getting a look at him. You can see that he is. Hold on, I need to get the racial equivalent of this because I didn't actually note that down on this bit of paper.
I'm so sorry for wanting to know this guy's exact date, age and shit. This is
No, that's fine. I'll say you gauge that he is. Okay, he is a Fluxian. So he otherwise has a skin tone not too dissimilar of kind of more of a fiery aspect to him. You can see that in terms of age, he probably sits somewhere in his kind of mid to late 30s.
All right. This is going to sound very weird. I do apologize ahead of time. Do you have a child?
No.
Have you been through the education system in this city?
Yes. Not to the... Depends on what extent. I've been through the education system in the fact that I've been schooled in the way of living, and I was brought up in the academy to become a watchman.
I was wondering whether you might know how one would go about enrolling to long-distance college classes here in the city, but I suspect that.
Oh, do you mean like magical college?
Yes.
That I wouldn't know, but I don't think they do long distance. It depends.
I
I
would have
believe
thought
they
that-
also have a fairly limited age restriction on that. You can go like when it comes to young, I believe you have to enroll after you finish base education. So once you've hit about 16, 17, you're allowed to enroll in the in the academies and colleges unless you're picked out or handpicked by either a scholar or a family name, or you've otherwise traveled to Maruk for that more
Hmm.
specifically. But you can be as
Intriguing.
old as up to 50, but they don't allow certain classes for
I-
anybody over that age.
I presume that's based on, based on
That's based
your
on
species lifespan, rather. As
yes,
opposed
that is based on species lifespan. They have a whole book with the listings of every race and
God, it's such a
and
large book.
effective age.
It's terrible trying to work out drinking ages as well.
Oh, drinking ages are just as bad, but most of the people in this town are quite experienced with understanding that, given there's a lot of different races here. It gets even worse when you start considering half races. But
Oh, goodness.
anyway.
And what do you do with druids?
Well, we've never experienced any too far within the city. Usually they stay below. That's not really our
No, fair
area of
enough.
expertise.
I just know they live obnoxiously long time, so I never know quite what to do. Like, maybe this 18-year-old is actually 200 years old, and I'm just like, well,
In which case, then they're legal to drink. But anyway.
anyway. So, thank you for your kindness. I do intend to be as helpful as possible in ensuring that you can do your jobs. What are the
That's
if there is anything that you feel I should know ahead of time, do let me know now.
the only thing which I think all of you will need to know is that tomorrow is the auction, which we have been told to escort your entire group to, because there could be potential complications given that it is now going to be a target for the Golden Crusaders.
Very well. Thank you for your time. If I am going to be heading to the Den of Bark and to at least one tool shop today, so if anyone would like to join me or go on any other shopping excursions upon this day, I would appreciate company and would also be best, of course, to ensure that if we were to go, not to split up so as to allow the guards here to do their jobs.
Looks at Kay and Vinny.
I have
Any of you want to do
some
anything?
stuff to do around the city, so I'm happy to travel with you for the most part.
Very well.
Sure.
Okay, excellent.
And what about your friend? She's still asleep. You
Oh, hang on a sec.
I will go wake her.
Oh, okay.
Wait. I mean, I'm planning on doing this very annoyingly. What are you planning on doing?
I was also going to do it as annoyingly as possible. Probably going to involve water.
Oh yeah, you've got your magic soap dragon. Yeah, you go do it.
Yeah. just run. Is it upstairs?
yeah, it's
Oh,
upstairs.
cool. Just hear this. As you're going upstairs.
What kind of undertaker services do you have in the city?
Jesus.
He will respond to that. We'll get to that in a moment.
Just a moment.
So, oh, I was the one who wrote that in, so that's probably why it's a different color.
Sorry, I have to go for just a couple minutes and then I'll be back.
Okay. In which case, in terms of undertaker services, as you otherwise ask, well, for the most part, we have individuals come up from Drell who handle it. A lot of the individuals down there deal with the burying of the bodies. Otherwise, it's dealt by the abbots. Or in some cases, it's outsourced to certain clientele from certain other groups. Is there a reason you ask?
I was just wondering what it would. Well, Cat's about to get murdered, you see. So
Right. Wait. What? Oh, is this literal or metaphorical?
I'm not actually sure. I guess we will know in the next few minutes.
If they
I
both
guess
come down, then
metaphorical.
metaphorical.
Well, Hazel's up there for now, so she'll make sure nothing bad happens. So
Find
you
fire.
sneak up. You sneak upstairs, Cat,
Yes.
and you see the other guard there. She's human, otherwise leaning back against the wall there, probably kind of mid to late 20s. Kind of got a helmet on, the lantern at her side, otherwise illuminating the hallway as she kind of watches you very slowly. And let's see, make me a stealth check, please, Cat, with disadvantage. I'm gonna say.
There's absolutely no stealth going on. She's even singing her own theme song, so.
Okay, yeah. So
Uh,
okay, so doing that, you sneak forward, or as much as sneak is sneaking, and arrive at Curve's door.
Oh, let's go. Okay. Is one of our rooms next to Curve's room?
Yes.
Cool. Is it my room?
If I remember correctly with how it's ordered, I believe it was Kay and Vinny's room, then Romulus in Cat's room, and then Curve's room. So yeah.
Okay. How wide are these rooms?
They're quite big. They're large enough to fit maybe three people if you've got two people sleeping in a bed.
Okay.
Or
I'm gonna
Romulus.
go into Vinny and Kay's room.
Okay.
One second.
Just open the door, close the door behind me, go up to the wall next to Curve's room, and Jeff, I've got a mission for you. You're gonna go next door, and you're gonna be my eyes. I'm gonna snap my fingers and then reappear Jeff 10 foot behind me. Bear in mind, I'm gonna be back against the wall, so he'll be in Curve's room.
Can you do find familiar through an area which you can't see?
It doesn't say that I need to see. Reappear in an unoccupied space within 30 foot of you. Doesn't specify line of sight.
Okay. I'm gonna say, in which case, roll me an intelligence check. If you roll below a 10, Jeff accidentally appears in an object and takes damage.
Oh god, okay. It's alright. That's intelligence. Oh, that's plus like a lot.
Okay. It's just an intelligence check, so I just believe it's
What's Cat's thing? That's Rook's sheet.
plus
That is
4.
Low, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
Uh,
12.
yeah.
As you kind of sneak into there and flick behind you, you were in whose room?
I am in Vinny's and Case, so I'm literally at the wall next to Curve's room.
That would be the wall next to your room. So it went Kay and Vinny's, then it went yours, then it went Curve's.
Oh, I thought you said mine and Case and Vinny's was next to. Oh, well, then I would
No,
have
no,
been in.
no.
I would have been in mine and Romulus's then. I'm in
Okay.
the room next to Curve.
Okay. So you otherwise do that as a Jeff lands his feet on the on what looks to be a chest of drawers and looks over, to which you can see Curve is just kind of lying in bed. The rest of the room is abandoned and tatters a bit.
Okay, how far is the bed from me?
Say 10 feet or so.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna get Jeff to a point of hiding, so resting on top of a curtain rail or something. And
Okay, roll me a stealth check for Jeff, please.
yeah, come on, Jeff, you've got this.
What's Curve's passive perception? I don't actually know. That.
What is? Oh, it's plus 3 still. Okay, 18.
18? Okay. Yeah, with an 18, Jeff hides fairly successfully behind a curtain rail.
Okay. Now, using Jeff's vision, I'm going to cast Mage Hand, and I'm just going to start toying with Curve.
Is Mage Hand a touch-based spell?
No, I think it's 30-foot range, isn't it? Mage Hand. Where is? Oh, right, yeah. Overlay. I've got Mage Hand as 30-foot range.
So you can't cast it through Jeff.
Oh, no, but it's within 30 foot of me. I can see through Jeff where I want to cast it, but it's still in my range.
Hold on. This is a combination of stuff, because I'm not sure if while you're in Find Familiar you can't actually do stuff, I don't think. Or it's
Allow
no,
me a
you
bit.
can't take other action. I'm just checking, because it's just
No, that's fair.
Okay. Yeah, no, that would be fine.
Cool. Awesome. Excellent. Now I'm going to start start winding Curve up. So, start with, how ticklish is Curve?
How?
Ticklish.
Dead.
I'd say she'd pretend that she isn't ticklish, but she's very ticklish.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Kay's trying to tickle with Mage Hand.
Make me, I'll say, an attack roll using your intelligence modifier versus Curve's AC. Actually, no, she won't be sleeping in armor, so this would be versus Curve's AC currently of 12.
Well,
But I'll say you get
16
I'll-
plus whatever the modifier is.
okay, so that'll be plus 7 for you now that you're 5th level. So yeah, so you successfully begin tickling Curve. Curve, you wake up to a tickling sensation as you otherwise spin around in bed, being tickled.
Stop it. Stop it. She's not quite awake yet.
Okay, fine. Just keep going, right? Fine, can't tickle. I'm gonna. Oh, hang on. Let me just look at something. This is a Jamie moment now. Then, with Mage Hand, I'm gonna rough up her hair. Pick up strands, lift them up, put them over her face, cover her mouth, nose.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say you do that, and Curve, after inhaling your own hair a little bit, you wake up, kind of sitting upright, just kind of spitting out hair as you look around. Mage Hand isn't invisible, is it?
I don't believe it is, no.
No, so you see what looks to be a floating kind of light purple crystalline hand.
It's just gonna wave right at you, and then just bamf out of nowhere.
Alright. I'm awake.
I'm gonna snap my fingers and just bamf Jeff out there too.
Okay, you feel like this light arcane poof in the room.
Now to sneak out, and this time I am actually sneaking badly.
Okay, roll me a stealth check.
I'm gonna do it at disadvantage because I'm trying to be quiet, but I'm still singing my theme song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Curve, do you take long to get ready, or do you open the door when you hear kind of this creaking and theme song going on outside your door?
Just hear this da 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 da. Go past your door.
Curve has too many siblings to not go and check.
Okay. You open the door and immediately see kind of almost front legs stretched out, kind of crawling along the floor, but a little bit in the air, pushing forward, of what looks to be Cat. currently trying to sneak past your door unsuccessfully.
Curve casts Mage Hand, and just do a little shoulder poke, like an excuse me action.
Just stands upright, completely upright. I see you managed to open the door this morning. Runs away. Literally runs.
Okay. Run away, leaving kind of this spectral, kind of darker black and red hand kind of just hovering there after
No,
it had
the
poked
hand
you.
runs after
And disappears as it reaches the stairs.
for intimidation. Yes, yeah, exactly.
Just
Okay. So, I'll say
And
after
I go
getting ready,
downstairs.
getting ready
Oh,
and heading downstairs, you otherwise are all reconvened downstairs at this point, to which one of the servers, who has otherwise come over and brought those of you who were here food. I'll say if someone wants to mark off a gold, that will accommodate your food for the day. No, no
I
one.
will do so.
Okay.
I was just looking to see what my inventory is. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I just simply
Curve.
don't think Curve would do that.
Curve, K,
Mhm.
money.
Money?
Hmm?
I don't have any money.
No, money for you. I
Oh.
hand over 10 platinum to them each.
Money.
What do you want in return?
No, it was left over from the mine job.
And
5
you're
people, it
just giving
splits.
to me?
Sure. Well, you helped out.
Okay.
Thank.
You put up with
How
us,
much
so you
money?
deserve it.
Plus, this way I don't have to hold on to it.
How much money's?
10.
10 platinum.
10 platinums.
Meanwhile, Kay's here sitting on how much platinum? Just going.
210 now.
No, 229 now.
Jesus.
Okay.
I have never wanted to become a rogue more.
I'm not even a rogue.
No, as in so I can steal from you.
Howard, you still would have tried if you were Sasha.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. Right.
See, I think at this point he wishes he was just a little bit smaller because his hands can't even fit in my bag.
I'm just going to pick you up entirely and be like, well, that counts.
This is
I just
mine
pull you out
now.
my bag. Go on, K Wallet. Pay the man.
I'm gonna need to start looking to get more clothes because I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot of holes in them.
At this point,
Mm.
yeah.
Well, there's that. Plus, also, if Romulus picks me up, Kay's going to stab him in many places with spikes coming out of his body. Yes. Oh, child.
So, Curve, what's your plan today?
Escape and find the goose.
The guard kind of looks at you just from standing next to you and goes, "We can always lock you up if that would make your life more interesting. You're on city arrest for 3 days. Your friends insisted me that that no one of you would cause me trouble. Am I going to have to put you all under local guard for the time being?"
I can't control that one.
I'm innocent, I
Yes.
tell ya. Innocent.
So who are
Yes,
you
is-
guys?
They're the guards.
We're the watchmen, the ones who keep watch over the city.
Ooh, the watchmen that keep watch. Okay. I that a crime has been committed, and I am trying to find a stolen goose that I have reason to believe is nearby. Would you lovely people have any ideas?
We have not heard any reports of a goose having been stolen, nor of a goose illegally traveling through the city.
Every
No.
one of you seems to have the same story. I am getting suspicious.
Well, there's not really much more I can say. We don't know where your goose may be.
Sure.
The goose is on fire.
And has horns.
It has horns and fangs.
Okay, are we talking like
It
makeup,
apparently
or
it's
it
a goose.
actually has
It
these
actually
things?
has them.
It actually.
Then no, I haven't seen a goose that's on fire with horns
And fangs.
Have you
and
ever seen a goose
fangs.
with makeup?
No, but this is a weird place, and it might be the case, but not a goose with horns and fangs. Actually, have you been experimenting on geese or something?
No. Have you?
That's just what geese are like where curves from.
Okay, sure.
Look, I'm as confused as you are, but I'm just going with what I've been told.
Just nods in confirmation.
Okay. Well, no. I have not heard of any goose that would fit that description that have come through my channels at all. I would have
Okay,
said if
how-
you weren't otherwise restricted from talking to the investigator that I would have said to ask them. But given that you're not allowed to speak to them because of how you acted last night, that's not going to be possible.
If you persuade me enough, I may be able to talk to him for you. I'm on good terms with him.
He said not to worry about you, but if you did start trying to bother him on the favor of your friends, then the answer would be no.
I
Did
just
he
want
say
to
that
help find a goose. It's literally the only thing she asks for is the goose.
If you want that, there are info brokers around the city. I'm sure we can lead you to one and you'll be able to ask them, but they'll probably want payment for the information, whether the answer be yes or no.
Yeah, that's fair.
That doesn't sound fair at all.
Well, if it hasn't been through here, then that crosses it off your list of for certain that it hasn't been through here. And if they have seen it, then all the better.
How about this? I do have one clue. Do you know somewhere cold?
Cold would be south of her.
Outside of the city?
Yes, probably about a week or so's journey south. Maybe more. I've never been that far south before. But you'd be looking at the Ice King's domain if you wanted to head that far south. Be more southeast from here, but still. Depends on where south. There's a lot of cold.
Alright, I'll try the broker today, and I'll keep that in mind.
Alright.
Okay. So we're all heading out then.
Excellent. I will head to the tool shop immediately.
Right. Well, if you're all good to set out, then I will come with as requested as by you. And you're all staying as one group then?
For the most part.
I suppose, yeah.
I just
Okay.
need to find a spell and then I'm heading back.
Okay, so we'll hit different targets on the way throughout the day. We'll say starting at about 1, given the late wake up call for some of you. Starting at 1, ending at 8 if you want to get involved in the night activities regarding the dancing and the festivities. Otherwise, ending at 10 so you can wake up early for the auction tomorrow.
I would love nothing more than to have Romulus Rust compete in any and all dancing activities.
Well, we'll see. So,
I would like to test something.
okay. Well,
If it's my flamenco, it will be terrible.
we'll
No.
go along one at a time. So, we'll deal with the tool shop. Going there, you wanted to pick up what kind of tools?
Ramos.
Oh
Romulus?
yes, I am wanting to pick up tools. It just feels like it'll be more expensive to get them at the den than it would be to just get them from a place that sells tools. I'm specifically looking to replace that carving knife because I don't know if we ever finalized that after.
Okay. If it's just a single tool for a carving knife, I will say that.
Oh no, I think we did fix that, didn't we? Oh, okay, I guess that doesn't matter.
It's up
You
to
know what?
you.
How much is a spare woodcarver's tools?
A full set would be however much it is in the player's handbook. Otherwise, I can say it'll be 5 gold for one of the pieces, such as a carving knife.
Let me have a check on the PHB.
I want to say the carpenter's tools are 25, but that might be the weight.
Woodcarvers and carpenters are actually slightly different.
Well, in this case, which one will you be going for? Carpenters or woodcarvers? Whichever one.
Woodcarvers specifically. Oh, it's 1 gold piece.
It's 1 gold piece for woodcarvers tools.
Yeah. Carpenters like furniture and shit for the most part. Like woodcarvers is generally smaller.
Woodcarvers is okay. In which case, then yeah, woodcarvers. I'll say
Hell work, figurines and stuff.
yeah. Given how much it is, I'll say 3 silver. 3 silver for the carving knife.
I'm just gonna get a whole extra set just in case. You know,
Okay.
in
So,
case
yeah.
something breaks again if I roll a 1.
Okay, fair enough. So we'll say that puts you back a gold and weighs 5 pounds. So note that in your inventory.
Doing so immediately.
Okay. Next stop, we were going to go to Kat's thing where she was going to try and find a spell. Where are you going to go?
Probably to the book place first. They might be able to point me in a right direction.
Okay. Heading to the Den of Books. You've been there before.
Mhm.
You kind of head into the hexagonally shaped room for this one. You can see that there are long queues of individuals currently waiting to be served. A few individuals traveling around. It seems to be general rush at the moment. There's a lot of people traveling to and from, and you can see and hear kind of a lot of just general chatter. Your entire group can. Pickups of things about exams coming up. Otherwise, some of the duels that are going to be happening tomorrow night as part of the festivities. Things along those lines and the bits and pieces that you do begin to pick up on the events that will be transpiring. You otherwise head in. A lot of people do take note of you. Most of them, for the most part, are locals by the looks of it in the way of their general complexion. There is a mix of tieflings, humans, fluxians, all manner of individuals, elves, dwarves, a few goblins mixed in as well, and giant and half giant folk. But looking about their group, they are, or devilborn, sorry, not tieflings. Looking around, you do see what looks to
Legally
be
distinct.
legally distinct. Sorry, I need to update this section of my document. Looking about, you can see that there are a lot of these individuals around, and they are looking at you to a certain extent as they go about their business until eventually you arrive at the countertop, where one of the clerks looks over and goes, yes.
I don't know if you can help me or maybe you can point me in the right direction. I'm looking at possibly getting or purchasing a spell. It's a low level spell.
I can do up to a first tier magic, although the cost will increase if you do not have a college identification on you.
I don't. No, I don't have a college ID.
Okay.
But it's I'm looking for something that I can communicate with over long distances with my friends and some very far away
You
friends.
would be looking for the sending spell. That unfortunately requires higher authority from the college, if you wish to purchase something like that.
Okay.
So I am afraid not.
How do I get approval? Do I have to be a student to get something like that?
You would have to go through the educational system and otherwise either submit a paper or otherwise.
Right.
There are other methods, but none of them would be under under our care.
Okay. Do you have any advice on how to approach the other methods? As I have 3 days, I don't think I can get through school in 3 days. I could
No,
try, but I don't think it's possible.
there is the auction houses occasionally do spell scrolls of various types, so it might be worth checking their stocks to see what they have going. You could otherwise try and acquire a patron or sponsor from various individuals who might be looking to have a court wizard or mage.
A
But given
patron, you
your
say?
age, I doubt that.
Goes Warlock immediately.
And if you otherwise, the only other way I can think of would be competing in the duels tomorrow night.
I heard about them. How do I enter them, and what does that involve?
Anyone can enter, however, it is a magic-only event. No brutality, no weapons, no nothing. Wands or staves only. It
What
is
about
purely
Cychania?
magic.
Just point to Cychania.
She would count as an empowered focus. She would be allowed for the purposes of you casting spells, however, in the event that it would otherwise interfere, you would be disqualified.
Okay.
Mundane foci only.
Question. Technically, Cychania would count as an...
She is an empowered focus. She can cast her own spells.
That's fair enough. I was more going like, she is a chain, and technically animate object is a spell. Could an argument be made for like you can use it to,
No,
like,
in this instance, animate objects can't cast their own
Damn it.
spells,
It's so
and
true.
they can't attack with a ridiculous modifier. So no.
Oh.
Okay. So how do
more
I
thinking,
enter?
like tripping people up, like wrapping around their legs or something. I don't know.
No, that would be physical interference. Again, this is the same reason why Romulus can't enter, because he's been
I
using an
cast
axe, not
fist.
magic. Yeah, that doesn't count. If you want to enter, you'll otherwise need to head to the main college. They'll otherwise enter you from there, and otherwise get you put through the rotation. It's up to you if you
What
wish
if
to
I
enter.
just
Keep in
pretend I'm
mind
using
you will
shocking
be...
grasp?
Hold on. You will be up against some upperclassmen if you do enter, so do be aware that they will be skilled with certain magic. I believe there is an age requirement, so you will not be facing anybody older than 25.
Okay. Right. And the purpose is just like targeting each other or series of
Yes.
challenges?
It is a combination of both. It'll be a series of challenges to be overcome, followed by a series of one-on-one duels to determine who the victor would be.
Okay. Thank you for that information. And sorry for taking up your time.
That's all right. Next, the queue continues. Kay, you wanted to do something by the looks of it.
Yes.
So, you wanted to experiment with the spyglass to have it attached to one of the guards?
Yes, I want to see if the orb is connected to the object so that it would follow the object if it moved. Because it didn't hear anything about that. So
No. Experimenting with it in that way, you discover that using the spyglass on a moving object causes the orb to dislodge and disappear, of which you then note that the lock stays locked, and it will unlock over time. So for now, you do not have access to one of the orbs. You also note that the spyglass has one of its orbs already in place
oh,
from a previous occupant, perhaps.
is there any way to be able to look through that one?
Yeah, you can look through it.
Oh, cool. I'm just gonna get a little bit closer to Vinny and kind of like, just say, I'm looking through this. Tap me if we're moving.
Right, you are.
And I'm going to look through this one that is apparently already in use.
Okay. As you otherwise look through the spyglass, you note that when you begin to look through it, the rest of your vision otherwise dissipates around you. You can still hear the conversations that are going on. It's a little bit distracting and a little bit disorientating as well, as your vision is pulled through the spyglass and out into this kind of spherical eyeglass that looks down into a room. You can see that the room isn't dark by any means, but you get a general look of the area, and you can see what looks to be boxes, crates. What looks to be a few people moving around in here, kind of moving bits up onto one another. And you can see what looks to be a kind of a devilkin individual currently leaning back against one of the boxes, while another one, a draconian, is otherwise pointing out where to put the boxes and so on. You can see that these are crates, and they are otherwise labeled.
What does the label say?
You see that the label says that it is property of auction.
Oh.
You're not sure which, as it is not labeled with a name, but it just states property of auction on it. And you see that there are a number of them. They are wooden crates and boxes. And one of the individuals otherwise goes over and takes what looks to be a crowbar to it and kind of pulls up one of the nails before opening the lid of the box. And you can see that they're kind of talking to one another, and pulls out what looks to be kind of this egg-shaped object before passing it off to another one, or off to the draconian, who kind of takes it and wraps it before proceeding to pass up what looks to be kind of a similar object, but it's a little bit difficult to tell what exactly it is. It looks very, very similar, but different in some ways, as it's passed up and put into the box before the lid being replaced.
Interesting. So this is in one of the auction houses. Well, auction storage area.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try and see as many people as I can before we start moving again, just to see if I can. Basically, since I'm going to an auction tomorrow, anyways, I'm just going to try and see how many people I can see, so I can try and get an idea if the one that I am going to is the one where this is located at.
Okay. Okay, and I was just watching the storage room to see how many people there might be moving to and from, you said?
Yeah, just to see if there's anybody that might be like, oh, that person definitely sticks out, or something like that.
Okay, so taking note of people there. Okay, got it. So, your next stop as a group. Where would you like to go? So, Vinny, Cat, or Curve, I'd say at this point.
We'll do someone else's, but Cat wants to talk to Romulus on the way to that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait till Romulus gets back.
In that case, then, I would like to head to the bank.
The bank.
Yes.
Yeah, alright. Heading to the Bank of Iron, you otherwise head inside. You can see that there are individuals currently very much working, and you can see all manner of individuals, a few Aetherborn in here. But most of them are humans, from what you can generally tell. Currently working, stamping papers and such, signing forms, writing up contracts, a few casting spells in various manners before you otherwise you've entered one of the queues and reached the main kind of iron bar frame area with a small porthole, as the clerk otherwise looks over you. Looks kind of an older lady, human, and probably later 50s, kind of leans forward and goes, "Yes, what can I do for you today?"
Hello, I'd like to access the delivery service, please.
"Yes,
Possible?
oh, of course. Do you have an account with us?"
I do not, I'm afraid. Is that a problem?
If you're looking to deliver something, we can send it to a location on a one-time basis, but it will cost more.
How much more?
If you set up a set up a bank account with us, the item can be guaranteed to arrive by tomorrow, and the capacity for your bank will not be charged an extra 15% per use. If this is a one-time use and you don't plan on using us again, then it might be better not to bother opening an account, as that can take quite a bit of time. But if you've got the time to set up the account, then it will save you quite a bit of money in the long run.
This might not be the only thing I have to send, actually, so maybe an account would be useful then.
In which case, she otherwise kind of looks over your shoulders before kind of reaching for what looks to be kind of a small spherical pearl. Just kind of speaks into it. We have a client at booth 3 would be looking to otherwise open an account if someone would take that for me. Thank you. Puts the pearl back, and a moment later, you watch as otherwise this giant-blooded fellow, very large and stocky, wearing this wonderful business suit that really brings out his shoulders, kind of a neat tie up to his neck, very tightly so, kind of wanders over. Please, this way if you will.
Very well then. I'll just briefly turn to the others. If this is going to take a while, I don't mind if you will head off. We can meet up later. Or you can stick around. It's up to you.
I mean, I don't think we're in a rush. Are any of you in a rush? Cool. Oh, look at the guard. When does the college close?
Can't say. I mean, the college is usually open all hours. It's just there's a curfew for individuals staying there for around 9 o'clock. But it's open more so because of the festivities.
Okay, so
The
there's
Goliath individual just kind of goes, the college will be open until 10:30 tonight.
okay. Would you know if they take entries for the tournament up until that point?
Entries until the tournament will be closed by 5 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, we've got plenty of time then. Okay. I will happily hang around for you.
All right then.
Okay. So, led off to to one of the booths. You can't all fit in as it's designed for 3 people at most. But generally kind of crowding outside of this booth. Goliath individual sits down, kind of takes what looks to be, doesn't quite look like a quill, but to the rest of us would be more equivalent to a ballpoint pen. And kind of clicks the end of it and proceeds to write down on pieces of parchment various details before kind of turning it and sliding it to you. So, you're looking to open an account with us, yes?
That's correct, yes.
Yes, and if you would be able to enter your name, age, date of birth, place of origin, and race, that would be excellent. What is the exact purpose of wanting to open an account? For extended use, for delivery service, for storaging of wares?
For the delivery service, primarily.
Okay, and is this for personal use, commercial use, or exterior?
Personal.
Okay. Ticking a few boxes. Right, and do you have any referees who may be with us?
What's a referee?
Someone who has an account otherwise built with us. Someone who we can balance your credibility off.
We have one through the Cataloguers Guild.
That would count. It just means that in the event that something were to happen to this individual's wares, that they would be transferred to you.
Okay. I mean, if you'd like, I can referee for you.
I mean, you're a minor. I think I'll take over.
Or he can do it.
Just,
Yes, that would be
it
preferable.
feels, I don't know how you work here, but minors being responsible for other people's accounts and that's
Yeah,
does not
It's
sit right with me.
it's just a place where it gets sent. It's not that they would be. It's not that they would be overseeing Vinny's accounts here. Kind of turning the paper to have a look at your name. But it would more be a manner of if something were to happen with their belongings, then they would otherwise be sent to somebody for reference, distribution, or otherwise. So a trusted person, a referee who has otherwise brought them to us.
Very well. Vinny, I suggest you choose myself, as we all know of Cat's past
Romulus,
issues with the
our
law.
account is joint.
I know.
Well, regardless, Romulus, you are, as you say, an adult. So I think that would make the most sense.
Very well. And asks for your signage there, Romulus, to which you give.
I just coat my fist in ink and punch. No, I wish that was my signature. Instead, it is a. It's a. It looks like someone trying cursive for the first time.
Mm-hmm. No, that's
Uh,
fair. As well as the icon for the cataloguers and the detailed information number that would be a part of your cataloguer's book.
That's much neater. The actual signature is just a very over-the-top stylized R, but done very poorly, and then just very tinily put after it, Omulus Rust.
Okay. Right. I will otherwise get that referred. You will have your own account number, you will have your own details, you can speak to us, and anything that you wish to otherwise retrieve or give access to another individual, you will communicate through us using your blood. Not physically, just it's used as a security measure. We'll take a pinprick of blood from your finger, and that will be a binding contract, so only you will be able to access the contents of your bank.
Fair enough. Okay then.
He wanders off for a moment, kind of comes back with what looks to be kind of some more neatened up paperwork. Right, well, I have concluded all of that in terms of what it is. The only thing that needs to be done now would be signing on terms and conditions. Basically, long and short of it is that anything that you put inside of the bank will be your own property and you will have access to it. In the event that there is legal activity, when we suspect something may be contained within your storage, it will otherwise be removed for the purposes of law enforcement across multiple areas. But it will be only under inspection and it will still be the property of the Bank of Iron and yours until proven otherwise. If you are otherwise deceased for more than a week and you have not been brought back to life in the rare event that would occur, then your belongings will be sent to your referee, or which you may change at any point during your account's existence. And if there is any problems that you otherwise have with us, you will be able to contact us for further details regarding so as and when you see fit, or on the sending number below. Just taps on the number at the bottom of the page.
Right then. I will be sure and do that.
Of course.
Okay.
If you could just sign at the bottom, and then we will get everything else sorted, and I will handle any immediate deposits that you may wish to make, or anything of that nature. You mentioned delivery service, so I can begin to send those quite happily.
Right then. Yes. Just the delivery for now should be fine. I will and I will sign.
Okay. Okay. You sign the individual paperwork, and as you sign as you sign the main piece, all of them kind of float into the air, scroll up for a moment, and then poof out of existence. To where you then watch the writing that was on the paper begins to kind of spill out and fade into the area around, and you feel almost this tingling in your thumb, which was pinpricked, before it begins to seal closed.
By the pricking of your thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Capitalism!
Okay.
Oh no, I
Okay.
does everyone know the one place not yet corrupted by capitalism? Spice!
Spice!
Well, with how the astral sea now works
Yeah.
in conjunction with space in D&D, it is
Yeah.
no longer not corrupted by capitalism. Thanks to Burn.
This is true. So, so you wanted to deliver some things, correct?
Yes, a small package and a note.
Okie dokie. When will these be? Where will these be being sent, and to whom?
The address is it's a house in the city of Hammerwind.
Oh, that should be doable. If you know the exact one, then just write it on whatever you're planning to send. We'll be able to wrap and have that boxed, whatever it may be. Obviously, we do restrict certain objects being sent. We otherwise do restrict the sending of weaponry without a martial license, along with anything that might be contraband, for obvious reasons. Letters, on the other
Reasonable.
hand, can be simply sent in the same manner.
Okay then. Right then. Vinny's going to take out I believe Vinny has a little bit of parchment
Okay.
and write a very short letter. Attempting not to show the contents to anyone.
Okay.
And then,
You can send that to me at a later date.
yep. Yes, if you need the presence text. And I will fold that up and write the address on it.
Okay. Folding up, writing the address. Right then. What exactly is the package you're sending?
Yes, I'm going to take out a small pouch and put 5 platinum in it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, monetary transfer will be okay.
Mhm.
Rightio. We'll be able to get that all sorted. Given the value of both the letter and this, I'll say it'll cost a silver for the spell, and will cost 5 copper extra as you are with an account with us. Given the sending of this.
Fair enough. Vinny will hand over 15 copper pieces.
Oh, actually no, because the 5 platinum would take it to 50 gold, so it would need to be 2 silver, 5 copper. Sorry.
Okay.
Because it would need to be done as 2 separate pots.
Okay then. 2 silver, 5 copper. That's still fine. I'll hand that over.
All right, Joe. Thank you very much for using the Bank of Iron. If you have any concerns or queries, please contact the sending card. And if you otherwise wish to make any further transactions or transfers with us, please let us know. Is there anything else that I can do for you today? Depositing anything or dropping off anything for storage?
No, not for today, thank you.
Very well.
Just making sure that's sent off is all I need for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, do take care. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nods, sends you off as you otherwise leave and heading back out onto the street for the next thing that we will do. But I think for now we'll take a quick break there, given it is past.
All right, I've actually got some
Okay.
prepared reading for the break.
Oh
Oh,
no.
let's go.
Okay, well have
It's
fun.
a response to one of the writing prompts on Tumblr.
Oh no.
Temples are built for
no.
gods. Knowing this, a farmer builds a small temple to see what
I'm gonna
kind
be
of
right
god
back.
turns up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go make tea.
A repo built the temple in his field, a humble thing, some stones stacked up to make a cairn, and 2 days later, a god moved in. Hope you're a harvest god, a repo said, and set up an altar and burnt 2 stalks of wheat. It'd be nice, you know. He looked down at the ash smeared on the stone, the rocks all laid askew, and coughed and scratched his head. I know it's not much, he said, his straw hat in his hands, but I'll do what I can. It'd be nice to think there's a god looking after me. The next day he left a pair of figs. The day after that he spent 10 minutes of his morning seated by the temple, in prayer. On the 3rd day, the god spoke up. You should go to a temple in the city, the god said. Its voice was like the rustling of the wheat, like the squeaks of field mice running through the grass. A real temple, a good one. Get some real gods to bless you. I'm no one much myself, but I might be able to put in a good word. It plucked a leaf from a tree inside. I mean, not to be rude, I like this temple. It's cozy enough. The worship's been nice, but you can't honestly believe that any of this is going to bring you anything. This is more than I was expecting when I built it, Arepo said, laying down his scythe and lowering himself to the ground. Tell me, what sort of god are you anyway? I am of the fallen leaves, it said, the worms that churn beneath the earth, the boundary of forest and of field, the first hint of frost before the first snow falls, the skin of an apple as it yields beneath your teeth. I'm a god of a dozen different nothings, scraps that lead to rot, momentary glimpses, a change in the air, and then it's gone. The god heaved another sigh. There's no point in worship in that, not like war, or the harvest, or the storm. Save your prayers for the things beyond your control, good farmer. You're so tiny in the world, so vulnerable. Best to pray to a greater thing than me. Arepo plucked a stalk of wheat and flattened it between his teeth. I like this sort of worship fine, he said. So if you don't mind, I think I'll continue. Do what you will, said the god, and withdrew deeper into the stones, but don't say I never warned you otherwise. Arepo would say a prayer before the morning's work, and he and the god contemplated the trees in silence. Days passed like that, and weeks, and then the storm rolled in, black and bold and blustering. It flooded Arepo's fields, shook the tiles from his roof, smote his olive tree, and set it to cinder. The next day, Arepo and his sons walked among the wheat, salvaging what they could. The little temple had been strewn across the field, and so, when the work was done for the day, Arepo gathered the stones and pieced them back together. Useless work, the god whispered, but came creeping back inside the temple regardless. There wasn't a thing I could do to spare you this. We'll be fine, Arepo said. The storm's blown over. We'll rebuild. Don't have much of an offering for today, he said, and laid down some ruined wheat. But I think I'll shore up this thing's foundations tomorrow. How about that? The god rattled around in the temple inside. A year passed, and then another. The temple had layered walls of stones, a roof of woven twigs. Arepo's neighbors chuckled as they passed it. Some of their children left fruit and flowers, and then the harvest failed. The gods withdrew their bounty. In Arepo's field, the wheat sprouted thin and brittle. People wailed and tore their robes, slaughtered lambs and spilled their blood, looked upon the ground with haunted eyes and went to bed hungry. Arepo came and sat by the temple. The flowers wilted now, the fruit shriveled nubs, Arepo's ribs showing through his chest, his hands still shaking, and murmured out a prayer. There is nothing here for you, said the god, huddling in the dark. There's nothing I can do. There is nothing to be done. It shivered and spat out its words. What is this temple but another burden to you? We, Arepo said, and his voice wavered. So it's a lean year. We've gone through this before. We'll get through this again. So we're hungry, he said. We've still got each other, don't we? And a lot of people prayed to other gods, but it didn't protect them from this. No, he said and shook his head and laid down some shriveled weeds on the altar. No, I think I like our arrangement fine. There will come worse, said the god from the hollows of the stone, and there'll be nothing I can do to save you. The years passed. Arepo rested a wrinkled hand upon the temple of stone, and some days spent an hour there, lost in contemplation with the god. And one fateful day, from across the wine-dark seas, came war. Arepo came tumbling to his temple now, his hand pressed against his gut, anointing the holy site with his blood. Behind him his wheat fields burned, and the bones burned black in them. He came crawling on his knees to a temple of hewed stone, and the god rushed out to meet him. I could not save them, said the god, its voice a low wail. I'm sorry, I am so sorry. The leaves fell, burning from the trees, a soft, slow rain of ash. I have done nothing all these years, and I have done nothing for you. Shush, Arepo said, tasting his own blood, his vision blurring. He propped himself up against the temple, forehead pressed against the stone in prayer. Tell me, he mumbled. Tell me again, what sort of god are you? I, said the god, and reached out, cradling Arepo's head, and closed its eyes and spoke. I am of the fallen leaves, it said, and conjured up the image of them. The worms that churn beneath the earth, the boundary of forest and of field, the first hint of frost before the first snow falls, the skin of an apple as it yields beneath your teeth. Arepo's lips parted in a smile. I am the god of a dozen different nothings, it said. The petals in bloom that lead to rot, the momentary glimpses. A change in the air, its voice broke and it wept. Before it's gone. Beautiful, Arepo said, his blood staining the stones seeping into the earth. All of them. They were all so beautiful. And as the fields burned and the smoke blotted out the sun, as men were trodden in the press and bloody war raged on, as the heavens let loose their wrath upon the earth, Arepo the sower lay down in his humble temple, his head sheltered by the stones, and returned home to his god. That is the first half of this, and it's
I'm
god.
back.
There's more, and I love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I'm either going to have to edit that out or forget and potentially get copyright. We'll see.
It was a post on Tumblr. No one is going to say anything. But if you would like for me to put a credit out here,
Yeah, sure.
that was by Sado Euphemist on Tumblr,
Thank
and
you
it
for
was
the.
done years and years ago.
Well, thank you very much for the story to keeping our audience company during the break. I hope everybody is back from break. We have
tea.
unfortunately lost to Rebecca as she is unfortunately currently suffering a migraine, so she's headed off so she can get some rest.
Entirely fair.
So
Fair.
yeah, at all entirely fair. So we shall continue. What were the next steps of what the party wanted to do? We've just done the bank thing. Romulus, you've gotten your tools. Cat and Kay, is there anything in particular you want to do now?
I'm waiting for tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I guess. Head... Romulus. I kind of want to get that sending spell, and there's no way I'm going to get a scholarship. Like, we've got 2 days to do that. There's no way.
I agree. It would be difficult given the time scale.
I mean, he just want the female guard who is always with you, Hazel. Otherwise, pipes up and says, "The clerk did say that it wasn't that the tournament would yield a reward."
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But look at Romulus. I'm worried I've got to hurt someone to do it.
Most likely.
Can
These. Oh, after you.
Can you cause someone to submit? Say they were unable to cast.
I mean, I
Fine.
don't know the specifics of this. You'd have to ask the clerks, but I imagine there would be some form of surrender system, and it wouldn't be to the death. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a tradition. I wouldn't imagine it would be until someone is bloody and wounded on the ground that they'd have to call out medics. So it's probably until someone yields or until they're no longer able to fight. But I don't know the specifics.
Scholars are famously cowards, so I am sure that they will not be fighting to the death, and they will
I
have
wouldn't say
safeguards.
that, but
No, it's true. I've met many scholars in my
I've
life.
met-
They are all absolute
Dead.
cowards.
Dead to cowards. Do you
The
think...
ones that are not cowards often die very quickly, owing to the fact that their bodies are weak and fragile, like kittens.
like a
It
cat.
is terrible.
Do you think I could? I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but one of my old friends once told me that sometimes we've got to fight to protect the ones we care for. And if this is a way of making sure that all of my friends can be safe, would I be wrong to miss it?
You must do what you think is right, Cat. But I agree. Protecting others is only possible when you have the strength to do so. If you try and protect others without strength upon your side, you may cause more harm than good. As much as I know you fear your own strength, what you can do, I am certain that you will be able to control any damage, because at your core, you care about people and you want them to be safe. If I have learned anything about these strange magics, it is that they are a part of you, not anyone else, no matter where they may come from. They are yours. Also, I think it will do you good to get the experience of defeating foes, and also beating up what I can only presume are self-entitled pricks of scholars.
Well, I'm not. I'm not gonna beat them up. I think it's
No,
a
you will
case of
beat
I
them
need
up.
to just outwit them.
No. Well, you may outwit them, but because that is the fighting of the scholars. But you are also welcome to beat the pardon my Elvish, fuck out of them. Beat the shit out of them.
Is that an Elvish word then?
Yes, shit.
Shit.
It's Elvish.
Okay. What does it mean?
I believe it's something like excrement.
So I'm going to beat the poop out of them.
Indeed. Yes, that would be the common way of saying it.
That'd be embarrassing. That makes one hell of a mess.
Indeed. But it's a
Prestidigitation
good
exists.
lesson for them.
Power word diarrhea.
Oh no, not again.
So you think I should try then? I mean, I guess when I get to the final round, if there is a fight, I can always back out if I really can't.
It doesn't matter if you win. It doesn't matter if you lose. But I think for your own confidence, it would do you good to at least attend. Give it a go.
Okay.
Of
Will
course,
you be
if
there?
any harm comes to you, I will not be held responsible for my actions. I will commit great violence to keep you safe.
And we'll stop you from doing that. It is an official tournament. She will be safe so long as she
Oh,
submits.
as long as it's within the
before
rules,
she gets
that's
too
fine.
dangerous.
I meant if anything outside of the tournament rules happens, I will be immediately disregarding any and all situation, the entire situation, and ensure that Cat is safe.
And we will be doing the same, so you will not have to worry. We will be taking care of this. Plus, there will be a lot of powerful mages there, observing the events. If anything, this is a good way to get sponsors.
That is true. This could indeed lend us assistance in potentially getting you some support in finding new spells. And perhaps
Maybe.
better yet, some support in buying lots of paper and ink.
Well, paper and ink also keeps you lot alive. Okay. Okay. I think I'm going to enter. Yeah, I can do this. I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for you all. I can do this.
Does that mean that we're heading to the college then?
Yes, please.
All right then. Right this way. Okay. Being led through Zaka's Crossing, kind of the thick and thins of the various areas of Zaka's Crossing, you are led to what would be more of the south side of Zaka's. As you otherwise arrive, arrive at the building for this. You note that it is next to one of the sky windows, or cloud windows, sorry. As you otherwise arrive closer to it, you can see what looks to be a number of temples around the area of this particular section, built out of what looks to be stone and iron in a much more updated architecture compared to the rest of the land around it. I was going to say, Jamie, I'm not sure what's going on with your mic, but we could hear you breathing, but it was like cutting in and out really weirdly.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was
That's right.
drinking my tea.
Ah,
I think I pushed my mic against my face.
But as you're otherwise looking, you can see what looks to be a number of these kind of temple buildings, religious kind of iconography here or there. But you can see what looks to be more of a kind of a twisting stone building that otherwise rises up. A number of plateaus that otherwise extend outwards with kind of this bright white stone to it. And you see that it otherwise rises up a little ways and then stops right at the edge of the sky window with what looks to be a pointed top to it. Above this particular sky window, you can see what looks to be 3 of these large white platforms rotating around the top of the building, seemingly covered in some forms of crystal, but have buildings on top of them as well. Potentially extensions of the school, you're not entirely sure, but they are localized to this area from what you can generally tell. As you otherwise arrive, with kind of the gentle winds pushing through, you can see that the front doors are otherwise open. A number of students moving in and out, along with professors, of whom are wearing what looks to be either black with various coloured sections of robe, or what looks to be a kind of a dark beige coloration to them, with ties in the front, wandering to and from. You also note a few of what look to be abbot individuals heading in and out.
Okay. Okay, well, I guess here goes nothing. I'm gonna enter.
Okay.
And
Heading up to the main entrance, you can see that there are what look to be 3 individuals currently standing guard at the edge of this. And they do note your approach. You can see that they are currently wielding what looks to be these large glass shields. That you can see the intricate rune work and kind of glyphic magic that covers the surface of these shields. You can see that they have blades at their side that are also similarly covered with various bits of magic, and a helmet across the top. But the rest of their body seems to be covered with almost this robe-like drape with sections of metal at various parts of it. As one of them otherwise looks up as Locke moves up with you to the front. Excuse me, this is for students and professors only. Can I ask what your business is here? Locke kind of steps up. This young centaur lady was looking to otherwise enter into the duel that's be happening tomorrow night. Right. And does she have magical capabilities or credentials within the college? Can't say I've seen many centaurs around here.
not within the
Locke-
college.
Insight if they're disgusted.
Oh, God, not.
Go for it.
Not within the college, but I have magical potential and capability.
Tell me the secrets.
Insight was 2.
Insight. Where's that?
I'm gonna roll my big dice for this.
So
Okay. Total?
it's 14.
14. They're hard to read.
Damn it. Not enough.
The person doesn't show any surface thoughts or problems of, oh, this person's a centaur. There's no surface problems. But, again, you're not entirely sure.
I'm watching you.
Always watch. Well, if you're looking to enter the event, there are some criteria that are set in place. If you would like to enter, you are going to need to either have a college permit or proof of magical capability. You are on the younger side, so you'll be under further scrutinous check in that regard.
That's fine. So, what would you classify as magical capability? How do I prove this to you without blasting everyone here? Obviously. That would be...
Casting a spell of some harmless intent of I will say, 2nd tier or higher would be proof of your capability to enter the duel. It is for mainly senior students only or the truly gifted.
So, do I cast this to present to you or someone in there?
To me. Don't worry, I will be able to identify your magic of a tiered basis quite easily. As he otherwise nods, I'll say Kay, you note that there is more sparkles around him, just kind of instinctively and innate. One thing that you do know, even though you aren't getting necessarily like afflictions from this, but you're still able to tell magic on these individuals, everybody entering in and out has a magical aura to them. Granted, they aren't as strong by any means as Cat would be to you. Quite a few of them seem to be on the younger side, learning magic, but Cat's had the experience of real-world combat. In the event of looking at these knight individuals, they are what would be considering a dazzling beacon in comparison to Cat.
Okay.
Aww.
Then in that case, I will
AC.
start casting. I'll run my hand alongside Chania. It's the first time I've actually cast this spell. Run my hand alongside Chania and get literally a handful of crystal, which throws up into the air to form kind of tendrils, which lands on her back to form spider legs that almost are shaped like Cychania as I cast spider form.
Okay. In almost this weird crystalline Doc Ock fashion, these large crystalline legs begin to form and tendrils that begin to kind of push Cat up off of the ground, holding her aloft from the ground itself as the individual there just... Interesting. No, that is of a qualification that would be allowed. Do you have a guardian with you?
Yeah, Romulus. I'm gonna point to Romulus.
Hello.
And would you be willing to otherwise admit and confirm that she is indeed allowed in the competition ahead?
Providing I can have a scan of what protections are in place to ensure there are no
That would be us and the head of the Lafron families.
All right. Oh god, how do I politely ask what exactly are you going to do to make sure that Cat does not get harmed?
Magic.
Can I,
We'll also need confirmation that you are indeed her guardian. Granted, you have Watchmen with you, which suggests either some form of prestige or house arrest. To which Locke looks and goes, CT arrest. They were caught in an incident and we are keeping an eye on them to make sure that they don't get attacked by the Golden Crusaders. To which the guard otherwise nods and then looks back at the rest of your group.
Just a harmless misunderstanding. You understand.
I understood. What are you all thinking right now?
Okay, right at this specific moment.
Mm-hmm.
5 Cychanias. How many more can I make?
I need to make sure Cat is safe. I will destroy anything that harms her. I just want you to understand that it is stunningly solemn and cold inside Romulus's mind. It is like his brain is just like the most ominous narration you have ever heard.
Uh-huh.
Just going, I will ensure Cat's safety.
Mm-hmm.
But like booming in a void, and there's no other distractions going on. It's just that thought.
Okay. And as you you fail the save, but you do learn that he probes your mind a bit more in regards to that. And all he sees is a cartoon animated version of you running up and bonking them on the head one by one. And then just picking up Cat like a 8-bit game and then running off with her.
That's fair. In Romulus's head, it's definitely a lot more violent, but okay, but fair.
It is violent, but these are the old days when it's maybe 16-bit violence with splatters of a few red pixels.
No, you know what it is? It's the original Doom.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. In which case he just nods. Vinny and Kay, what would you be thinking about right now? I know Cub's thinking about a goose, so.
Yeah.
Yes, Vinny is thinking, do school sports days normally require this level of paperwork?
And Kay?
And Kay's over here wondering if different types of magics taste differently.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to investigate that. So,
You could have just asked to read my mind. It would have been polite.
that's not their job.
Okay,
So,
this definitely feels like an invasion of privacy.
oh, Kat can do it as well, and she has.
Yeah, and that's another crime.
No, stop. It was
So, in this instance, he reads into your mind, Kay, with regards to digging deeper about what it tastes like, and picks up that you have the ability to eat magic. To which he tilts his head confusingly and just kind of pauses and thinks about it for a moment, but then just lets it go.
No, go on. Look into it. I will eat your magic.
He already has. He's seen
Here's
the light threat, but he doesn't feel too threatened by you, I will say.
What does brain magic here mean to Cat? Like, sorry, Kay, because Surely that's gotta be something fucky for that K is tasting right now. Or
Oh, it
experience.
would. It's just he doesn't experience any of those symptoms while he's in the city for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something
real bummer.
something dampens or ruins his entire symptoms. He still benefits from being able to have detect magic up 100% of the time, but he doesn't have the involuntary bodily reaction to something happening to him.
Wouldn't that technically be classed as divination?
That would be classed as divination, yes.
So
So-
it is something that is voluntary for me. Because for divination at least.
Because that's the zooming out perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the enhanced the
enhanced peripheral
increased-
vision.
Yeah.
So but in this instance, you wouldn't suffer from that because as much as it would be conscious and knowing that should happen, it doesn't. Okay. Well, I've done the general look over that I would need to. You've got the magical capabilities. Official paperwork proving that you are indeed her guardian would be acceptable, and from what I've generally gathered, you have methods to prove it. From what I can generally tell, you are catalogers.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
In regards to joining, I do not see a problem with that. Just note that your companion Sychania would count as a enhanced focus, from what I can generally gather, meaning that you would have to respond to using a wand or a stave if you wish.
Okay, so I can't use Sychania, but I can use a wand or a staff.
Correct.
Does it need to be a magical staff? Like, is there something
No,
special?
it just needs to be a focus. If you do not have a focus, we will be able to provide you with one, but better that you're one you're familiar with than one you're not.
Thinks about my wand.
You can. They were designed. It was designed for duels.
It is true. It is true. Okay, I have a
Because
wand.
if you remember correctly, the way that you designed your wand, you take -1 fire damage while you're using it, and your spells have a +1 to the counterspell DC. because it
It doesn't
bends your
shoot
magic
straight.
weirdly.
Yeah.
Alright.
It doesn't shoot straight.
Now that I can actually talk, K
Mhm.
pops up. What exactly is a focus?
See, you know when I cast and sort of like Sychania gives off an aura, or I get my stuff. So normally people would use a component for a casting a spell, but a focus, you don't need that anymore. You can use the focus as long as it doesn't have monetary value that is expended. So my wand, I'm showing my wand, and Sychania just twisting around because she can, are both focuses. Foci?
Do the wands need to be magical?
No. Magical wands would be considered as enhanced foci, so they wouldn't be allowed for purposes of this. That
So,
rule is
and
simply in place to prevent individuals of a higher born nature who may have more money available to them from bringing in wands that are more powerful than others.
And to clarify, only spells are allowed. There is no physical contact or weaponry allowed.
Correct.
What about potions and things like that?
Potions and consumables will be allowed only by alchemical casters. They are not allowed by typical individuals. So, given the
Fair
nature of your magic seems to be more arcane than alchemical, you would be using your wand as opposed to alchemical potions to administer effects.
Okay. Now, where do we stand? So we're not allowed to physically make contact. What if we got a touch spell that we want to use? We can use that.
Touch spells are allowed. It is a
Okay.
matter of no kicking somebody with your hooves, no grappling someone to the ground.
Okay.
There is no use of physical contact outside of spells.
On that note, what about summoning?
Summoning is allowed.
And if the summons do physical damage?
Summons
If the
will be
summon has like a sword or something.
if the summon attacks In the event that it would be a physical event, the summon will be allowed to attack, but then will be immediately dispelled by our judges. You will not be disqualified, but the summon will be removed, so it will be act like it's a single-use spell.
That
Okay.
does feel counterproductive for those that focus on summoning magics.
True, but
Well,
summons are built can be used in more of a defensive capacity, allowing someone to be defended by a summon and basically giving them a greater block of defense over an opponent's spells for a time. That is the intended use for summons. In the event that you're using summons for an aggressive purpose, the aggressive purpose would be against the defense that the traditional casters would not be well defended against.
mhm,
Therefore, counteracting the purpose of removing physical attacks, such as weapons.
okay. And other magics, because obviously mine cast out I cast, but can I use things like runes?
Of course,
Okay.
that would be known as magical augmentation. That is allowed within the purposes of this. There are others with similar augmentation or infusion powers. So there will be
Oh.
others using a similar ability to your own.
Oh, interesting.
Very well.
Ah, okay, well, thank you. Now where do I go to sign up?
If you want to sign up, please just enter with your. I will say with your guardian. The rest of you will have to stay behind for purposes of college students only or authorized members only. If you head in at the desk on the right, please talk to the clerk there. You will be able to sign up, give your name, and arrive promptly at the main dueling station. Main dueling arena and station is just to the south, just outside of town. If you are under city arrest, I'm sure we can make some arrangement that you'll be allowed to step outside for a short time.
Look back at the guards.
The watchman goes, that should be okay. I mean, it's not technically even outside the city. It's not past the main wade gates, so you should be fine. It's just within.
All right, but do vouch for us if there are any issues.
Oh, of course. That's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna grab Romulus's hand and drag him in.
I go willingly. Why? You don't need to drag me.
Let's go. Before I change my mind, quick, let's go.
Okay. Heading inside the main school, you can see that the lobby here is quite small, but you can see what looks to be a number of staircases that otherwise spiral upwards. And along the way, you can see what looks to be further platforms which lead to doorways that lead out and further inwards. As you otherwise walking, kind of taking it in, there is what looks to be a tall series of windows behind you that let in a lot of air, filling the main chamber here. But there aren't floors per se. It is a simple hollow tube or cone running all the way up to the top, with what looks to be a number of stairs leading up, various guardians and creatures, summons of all varieties. What looks to be these large metallic spiders currently crawling really high up in the main portion of this. Number of students walking in and out, some of them walking up the stairs, others going in and out of doorways, which as they open you see lead into brightly well lit classrooms that are massive compared to the size where they should be. And you get a general sense, I'll say, with your natural arcana here, Kat, and your really pretty good investigation skills, that you pick up that a lot of this seems to be magically bound by some extra dimensional field. This place isn't here per se.
Interesting. Hey, Romulus, I reckon you could cook here. It's here, but it's not here.
Is this where the tournament's going to be taking place?
No, tournament's taking place outside of town in the dueling area.
Does this mean I feel stuff again?
You're not inside. The rest of you have to wait outside for the purposes of the guards aren't going to let in someone who's going to potentially bite students and and the others who aren't participating in it allowed it. For the purposes of this, I'm just going to double check if I need to quickly check how old Curve is, because Curve might be eligible to enter if she's under 25. I don't remember how old her character is. She hasn't written in her character's age. Okay. I'll have to ask her in between this week and next week as to if Curve would want to enter the Magic tournament as well. The entry is free to students, and as you otherwise get closer, you can see the clerk there otherwise looks up, and there's what looks to be a long board behind her with a list of names on. There's probably 40 plus students there. And you can see that where she's otherwise sat there, looks up from her spectacles, kind of a tightly knit bun of hair with what looks to be two wands otherwise prodded through at different angles in the bun itself. Yes. Looking to enroll, are you?
Yes, please.
Indeed.
Wonderful. How many years are you looking to begin studying here at the college?
Not. Oh no, enroll for the tournament.
Oh, looking to enter into the tournament.
Yes.
Do you have an enrollment pass?
No.
Were
But-
we given that?
No,
No.
but we showed the guard that I have magical capability.
They
Very
sent us
well.
word.
In which case the entry is 10 gold.
Okay.
I just hand over a platinum piece.
Very well. And I'm going to assume that it'll just be the one of you. And
Yeah.
have you been informed of the rules by the guard, or would you like an official rundown?
I would appreciate an official rundown just in case.
Yeah.
Very well. The tournament in question will consist of 3 phases. The first one is a challenge phase, during which you will be tested of your magical potential and your ability. This will also weigh you down, so be conservative, but not too conservative. If you do not manage to beat whatever the judges put at you, then you will otherwise be disqualified. The second phase will be a one-on-one phase, where you will duel against a number of others till we are down to 4 individuals. After that, it will be a group melee. You will have your choice of who you wish to target or go after. Be warned, individuals tend to have a plan to gang up on other individuals, so I recommend forming allegiances and allies prior to that if you are aware of who might be at the top of the leaderboard. Given you are new to this, I doubt that will be the case, so I would recommend being defensive and not too explosive.
Okay. Right.
Very well.
But I have otherwise been assured that your abilities are capable, given that you have been let in by one of our guards. So, by all means, feel free to sign up. And what would the name be?
It would be cat.
Very well. She writes the name Cat in the air, and you watch as the name floats up and attaches to the bottom of the board as the board makes room for it.
Oh, that's cool. Awesome. Okay, what time does it? What time do I have to be in at where?
The tournament begins at 6 p.m. tomorrow at the dueling arena to the south side of Zaker's Crossing. If you're unable to get there, please seek one of the watchmen and they will guide you, or alternatively head here at around quarter to 5, and we will be leading a procession there.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, and is there anything else I need to know? I have my own wand. I know that I can't use Titania.
Yes, enhanced foci are otherwise forbidden. Using summoning magic that would do physical harm will be dispelled after its initial use. Any attempts to attack someone while they are down are forbidden. As such, you will end up being treated with accordingly. You are under the age that we would usually allow, but given that the guard has let you in, means that you have proved yourself in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
As such, you will be under special watch and care. We're going to make sure that if you do go down or fall unconscious for one reason or another, that you will not be harmed further.
Okay.
We will have staff on hand from both the clerical side of things and the academic. Do you have any questions?
No, that's all. Is it okay if Titania comes in with me? As we kind of
So long as you do not
separate?
use your enhanced focus, or your enhanced focus does not interfere with the fight, then that is of course okay.
Okay.
I could hold her for you, Cat.
I
No
think
one
the
can
issue
hold her.
The issue, from what I can tell from cursory glance, is that it seems to have a personal attachment to it. It seems to have some form of personality augment to it, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So in this instance, if it is attached to you, then that will be okay, as long as it does not interfere. We will have very keen-eyed judges, so do not try anything.
I won't. Do you hear that, Sarchania? When we do this, you can't interfere.
Sarchania nods.
Okay.
Good.
If you do, I'll take you to to whatever the hell they use as forges in this place and throw you in whatever they use as fire.
Sarchania does the equivalent of hissing at you.
The look of
Yes,
disgust on Cat as well.
And to you too, you little shit.
Well, for the time being, if it would be preferred and you are concerned about your Sarchania interfering with the fight, we can put a dampener seal on them for the time being. It will suppress their magic for a time.
It's okay.
We've just come out of that.
She'll be fine. She's very good. She won't interfere.
Very well.
Okay.
Then
well,
you are entered and officially in. So, please do show up on time tomorrow for the first challenge. Should you fail to turn up, you will be disqualified, even if you are a second past 6.
Okay. No worries. All right. Well, thank you very much, and I'll make sure that they're on time.
Good. Have a good day.
You too.
And
Take care.
And if you wish to enroll at all, by all means, speak to us.
If we stay long enough, maybe, but we're not planning on staying around for much longer. But thank you anyway.
She nods, smiles, and gets back to looking at what looks to be a ledger.
Right, I'm gonna head out. Romulus, I'm really nervous about this.
Do not be nervous. We will all be cheering you on, or maybe not. I don't actually know if only you're allowed there. Point being, I will be cheering you on, and no matter what happens, I know you will do your best.
Now, for clarification, because I know it will happen and or be asked, Vinny, bardic inspiration does not count as magic and therefore is legal.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Keep in mind, I may have some of my own.
Right.
Can I provide barbarian inspiration?
Barbarian inspiration, known as knocking out the judges systematically.
No. It's intimidating the hell out of the opponents.
No.
I stare at them from across the room and I just like slowly pull my finger across my neck and mouth, yield. Technically, it's not a physical attack.
No, but it is outside interference. In this instance, bardic inspiration is very difficult to pick up on compared to regular shouts because it doesn't come across as magic. But it is something to keep in mind. There will be others doing the same.
Cool. Cool.
Yes. Within 60 feet, they can hear you, but I can give you one before we start, and then go from there.
Well, there are multiple phases, and it can be used on attack rolls, so you have to consider when you're going to want to strategically use them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I would suggest that we use them sparingly. Not because I do not wish Cat to have assistance, but because I think that Cat should be allowed to do as much as she can on her own.
Well, we'll get there when we get there. So, you leave the college. What's the next thing you'd like to do? Kay's waiting to the auction on the next day. Kat, is that you done?
Yeah, that is pretty much me done. I have got a question for you though. The life rune. How long does it take to make?
What's the level of it?
Third and 500.
6 hours then.
Okay, cool. I just need to make sure. And I can do this in bits, can't I? It doesn't have to be 6 hours straight, does it?
No, it doesn't have to be 6 hours straight. No.
Cool.
So long as you're not rolling up the rune each time you stop, though, then you're fine. It's one of those, if you left it on a table in between making it and not, then it's fine.
Mhm.
But if the moment you roll it up, you reset it.
Okay, cool. Excellent. All right, that was all I needed to know.
Okay. So, Romulus, did you have anything else you wanted to do today?
The wood. The entire reason I came out in the first place.
Okay.
Can
So-
I go back to the hotel and start making this rune?
I'll say that's fine. Hazel goes with you. If anybody else would like to go with Kat when she makes the rune, if you had an intention to go back to the hotel.
I would not like to go back to the hotel, but I would like to go and find the agency guy if I can split off from the group without one of the guards coming.
Okay. I'll say you go with Kat and then you split off and say you'll meet back at the hotel.
Mhm.
Okay.
I will
So-
be going back because I have nothing to do.
In which case, then... Yeah, in which case it will just be the guy going around with you, Romulus, to be a guide. So, Romulus, you and Locke otherwise head to the edge of the dark alleys where he otherwise goes. Well, the Den of Bark will be inside. I will meet you back at the Firefly Stacks. Do not be any later than, I'll say, midnight, as you said.
I
Doesn't
will
sound like you
attempt-
have any intentions on running, so I'm not too fussed about that. But still.
If I don't show up by 12 o'clock, then just presume I'm either incapacitated, unconscious, or dead.
If that happens, we will send out a search party.
I appreciate the effort. I wish you the best of luck in locating my potential corpse.
Okay. So,
Tragic.
he nods at you. and then
Light up a torch. Oh, wait, I can't light
Does
torches.
that-
No.
No, you're going in blind.
Can I have given him my horn before
I
the party?
put
Because I know it's going to be somewhere dark.
Okay.
Put it on. Put it on.
So, Romulus, as you wander into the dark alleys with this tiny horn on the top of your head, illuminating your way, you wander about the dark alleys as a beacon of light, to a certain extent.
A
as
beacon of
you-
tiny, ineffective light.
Mm-hmm. Well, it depends. Are you telling Romulus how?
Yeah,
to
I would
use
have
the-
told him Glimmer. I would have told him how to
Okay.
activate it.
Okay.
Glimmer.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh,
As you do, it brightens even more and kind of projects a bit more light. A few individuals in the area kind of just shy away from the bright light as it otherwise cascades across them.
sorry. Bad genetics over here. Can't see in the dark. Very tragic. You'd have thought, since our race apparently has a thing for labyrinths, that you know, dark, dingy, unlit labyrinths, we'd have a dark vision. But no, I understand why that one was very angry and killed a lot of people. I would too if no one had proper lighting. Anyway, moving on. And I attempt
Okay.
to find the Den of Bark.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a survival or investigation check of your choice. The DCs will be different for both of them.
Survival investigation check, you say?
Yep.
Oh, that's depressing. Specifically, I feel like this is going to be survival because I'm not investigating. I'm just kind of like I am in enemy territory. I must. That sort of thing. So that's a 9.
9. Okay. Okay. You don't manage to find it within the hour. You can keep going if you wish. However, I will start rolling on the random encounters. Granted, a dragon can't spawn in the town, but there are other things that can.
Is there anyone about nearby when I can reach that hour point?
Yeah, I'll say there's a few people around. Again, everybody down here is open carry, hoods up, wandering around, and they're kind of few and far between compared to the hustle and bustle rest of the city.
I am going to clear my throat and attempt to quickly ask, does anyone know where to locate the Den of Bark?
Roll me a persuasion check.
God damn, no. Just no.
Unnatural 1.
Yeah.
Nobody answers you.
Right. I'm going to take the horn off, put it in my pocket for a second,
Mm-hmm.
stand up to my full height. I feel like generally I kind of shrink myself down a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to, with my mantle over my shoulders, clear my throat again and loudly declare, "Tell me where the Den of Bark is," to the next person that comes nearby, in an attempt to intimidate to get what I want.
First things first. Roll me a perception check with disadvantage, given you've taken the horn off and you can't see if the next person is going to be walking past you.
Yeah, this is fully going on a luck thing here.
Yeah, because there's very, very little light around here. At the moment.
Oh, that's depressing. So with perception, that's a +4, so that's a 7.
Okay.
No, sorry, an 8.
Okay. An 8. That does change a few things, because it makes it slightly faster, because it takes a little while before somebody walks past you. As you're just kind of standing there stationary, an individual kind of walks up past you and then kind of stops for a moment as you turn to them kind of suddenly. They jump back in that moment. Go ahead and roll me an intimidation check, if you're saying what you're saying.
I think my exact wording is, "Where is the den?" That would be using my strength mod, because the thing, and +3, so that's +8, so that would be a 16.
16. Okay.
Roman
The
is
individual
rolling shit
otherwise
right now.
jumps back for a moment, kind of stops and goes, that way, and just kind of points down a direction, which you look down and it's just darkness.
I'm going to quick insight check.
Go for it. I'm going to say the person's going to have advantage on persuasion or deception just because they're...
22? That's not right.
They-
18. 18. Sorry.
18? They seem pretty trustworthy, yeah, but it's hard to tell.
All right, thank you for your time. I'm going to quickly throw over a gold coin.
Okay. Interesting interaction here. You reach for your coin purse and it's not there. The person bolts.
I run after them.
Make me a perception check with disadvantage.
I'm putting the horn on as I go. Just purely for the image of it. This is fun. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Still with
I will say this is without the disadvantage. You are currently needing to beat a natural 20 currently.
Well, cock.
Another natural 20 will counter it here, but we'll have to see.
Come on, Romulus. Come on, you beautiful, stupid bastard.
Oh.
Ah!
As you bolt, kind of putting the horn on and looking around, the horn light isn't quite enough to see as they disappear into the dark. You run in their general direction and meet a wall, and you're like, oh no. Please remove all platinum and gold from your inventory.
I'm just making a note of them in case I get them back, which I doubt highly.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, you didn't get a good enough look at the person's face, I'm afraid, and yeah.
How much? What was the damage? I kind of need to know.
37 platinum and 75 gold pieces.
Oh my god!
No, sorry, 76. Because I didn't give him the gold piece, because he already stole it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to stress this, Chris. All other plans are off the table. I am hunting this person to the ends of the earth.
Okay.
Sounds like you need an expert.
That's a lot.
I
That is a
need to
lot.
find an investigator.
It's a shame the one that you would go to isn't willing to take your calls right now.
I'm going to... Okay. Wait a second, I'm just quickly checking something.
Okay.
Why do I have no inspiration?
In this instance, you should have inspiration.
Yeah,
inspiration?
yeah. Everyone got
everybody gained
inspiration at the beginning of the
inspiration
session.
at the
Oh, if I knew about it, I'd do the one.
Okay, re-roll the one then. Go for it. Use up your inspiration. Let's see if you get a 20 to counter it.
Come on. No.
So close.
It's not a
quite.
1, though. It's something. I
Not a
maybe
1,
caught
no.
something.
In this instance, unfortunately, with their natural 20, they bolt. They knew what they were doing. You caught them off guard for a moment, but they went for it and they left. It's just as well that you were in a situation where you might have caught them now as opposed to later, but they did unfortunately make their stealth check. So, in this instance, as you're standing there, I'm going to say go ahead and roll me on the random encounter table. And this is going to determine what might happen here. You are
What's that
looking
again?
for a... this is just a general d20. I need you to roll some form of encounter, either a hostile or just a local encounter, and then it will be rolling to see if they're going to be friendly or not.
2.
2. Okay, go ahead and roll me a d8.
D8.
I hope I roll better than this in my duel.
Let's see.
2.
2. Okay. In this instance, as you're otherwise standing there looking around, and also you spend a little bit of time looking around, asking, going up to what locals you do find and kind of checking them and talking to them. They don't have the same vocal pattern or structure as them, so you know that it's not them. But they do panic and kind of are almost frazzled for a bit as you're otherwise kind of going around asking individuals. Eventually, this otherwise what looks to be kind of a burly individual covered in fur and hair wanders up to you and kind of stops, placing a hand on your shoulder. Excuse me, can I help you? As you otherwise turn around, you can see what looks to be someone matching your eye level of what looks to be kind of this thick, almost bear-like skin shifter.
Depends whether you can help. Who are you?
Depends who's asking. Are you causing trouble here, or are you a friend?
I don't intend to cause trouble here. Trouble has been caused to me.
Such as?
Someone stole my coin purse. I am trying to locate them.
Right. Did you happen to catch a face or anything of this individual?
I will recount what little I can. So frame, size, any little details of what they look
what little
like.
you can give. I'm going to say roll me a general intelligence check. I'm going to say if you get 5 or higher, you will recognize them on a successful insight check. On a 10 or higher, you'll be able to describe them a bit better, so that you'll be able to give them a bit more of an idea. On a 15 or higher, you remembered a significant amount, and on 20 or higher, you'll be able to recognize them on sight.
And what's this roll precisely?
Intelligence check.
Ah, shit. No.
Well, I mean,
Within my intelligence, that is a 14 precisely.
Okay, so 14 is that you recount some information to them, and you will be able to recognize the individual on a successful insight check. So the individual otherwise looks at you and kind of turns, and you can see there's 2 more individuals beside them, one of whom kind of has their crossbow hefted over their shoulder. As he just looks back and goes, "All right then, let's have a look around. Not sure how far they would have gone. How much did you lose, if I might ask?"
37 platinum and 76 gold pieces.
Significant count.
My entire wealth at this point in time.
We'll be able to help you for a charge. 20% of what we get back.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
Nothing.
In this instance, looking at them, they don't necessarily look like they're trustworthy, but they've made an offer to, if you/they find your belongings, they'll return it to you, but take a chunk of what gets returned. So if nothing gets returned, then they don't get anything. It's better than losing everything, though.
Agreed. But to confirm, 20% of
What gets returned?
Mm-hmm.
If they've spent or they've stashed some and you only get a small portion of that back, we'll still take our 20%.
Very well. Right, give me a second here.
Individuals,
Just gonna
the
check.
individuals
on-
otherwise nod, and he turns to the one with the crossbow. You got anything? The individual in question, as you otherwise get a bit more of a look at them. You can see that the individual is half elven in origin, kind of looking around at the moment. And as they otherwise kneel down, they kind of place their finger on the stone nearby, and there's almost this strange magical twinge that you notice at the sides of their eyes before they stand up. I got footprints. Plenty of them, but more recent ones are dominant. Heading off that way. Right then. Let's get tracking. You, what's your name?
Romulus.
Good to have you. Let's go.
All right, I'm following along. I guess I don't really know what's happening here, so.
Okay. You watch as the one with the crossbow is otherwise leading, just generally pointing in directions. Kind of there's still light energy that's sparking from either side of their eyes as they're otherwise leading down alleyways and further into the dark alleys from what you can tell. I'm going to perform a roll for them, which they get with advantage because of the aid of magic. Okay. Versus the stealth of the thief. Okay. The individual in question with the crossbow kind of stops. They were prepared for us, that's for sure. Their footprints stop here. And just looks around and above. From your very dark interior here, you're not really able to see all that much, but you can see what looks to be beams and rafters for a little bit more of a higher lifted area. Whoever this individual was has stopped traveling by foot.
They're in the
Yes, we're
rafters.
going climbing. This is going to be more of. This is going to be tough. It's quite possible they've stashed this away already. How long ago would you say it was?
How long ago was it, Chris?
Say about 15 minutes ago.
15 minutes, give or take.
It's quite
Would
possible
you-
they've stashed it.
Whilst you look around, give me a moment. I want to try something.
By all means.
I, as a Totem Warrior Barbarian, I am able to cast certain spells as rituals, correct?
Yes.
So I would like to use the ability to speak with beasts and see if there's any insects or rats or other creatures around that I might be able to ask to see what
Okay.
they've found.
Okay. During the meantime, as you're kind of beginning to ritual cast this, the main individual, kind of the skin shifter, turns to one of the other ones, kind of this lanky goblin individual. See what you can get. See what you can get from up there. Try and see what you can. Ask the locals as well if there's anything intriguing around. Not sure if this is gang work or just an individual thief. The individual nods and then immediately begins climbing up and using the rafters as a way to move around in a very agile fashion. The one with the crossbow, on the other hand, moves over to what looks to be locals and kind of goes up to a few of them and begins asking. I will say, from what you can hear with your passive perception, they're not being friendly with the locals. They're asking them, and then when the locals don't say anything, you get a general note of not necessarily violence, but a note of general threatening, followed by a seeming answer. To which the individuals return and kind of relate the information. One of the locals said that whoever it was passed through here recently, travelled up through the rafters and headed off that direction. Most likely we got a trail on them already if he's been lucky. Right then. You ready to go, Romulus, or you need more time? At which
How
point,
long-
Speak with Animals goes off.
I've got 10. I'm good. I'm going to ask around quickly. I'm just going to like call out to any beasts in whatever the hell that would be. Someone call out. Someone came through here recently, hiding, quickly, stealthily. Where did they go? I want you to imagine you just hear like bestial sounds coming out of my mouth for a second.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me. I'm going to say. roll me an animal handling check. I'll say this
Is
is
that-
just to coax out something that may have seen something.
Is there any chance I could pull some sort of higher up in the food chain sort of thing because I am wearing a dead, very powerful creature?
As much as that might help, that might also detriment for creatures that might be afraid of things
That's
like
fair. That's fair. Okay, animal handling, eh?
animal handling. Yeah, this will just be to see what kind of thing you might pull out.
You know what? Fuck this dice. Could you delete this for me? Can I delete that? Can
No,
I?
you won't be able to. Hold on. let me-
Please delete this dice specifically for me. I
Alright.
require a different one. Thank
There
you.
you go. Factory reset. That was, however, a 7
That
plus
was a +1.
plus 1.
Just to let you know,
That's
this one rolls.
It's rolling better, yeah. All right. So an 8. As you're otherwise asking around, there are general flies are in the area that, as you kind of ask, they just kind of buzz there for a moment and just go, "Nah, I didn't see anything, mate."
All those eyes and not a single. And fine. Let's hurry. Let's go.
Okay.
I'll ask other creatures as we go along the way. If
Okay.
anything seems like it'll be.
As you
fitting.
as you follow along, the goblinoid individual otherwise comes back on a few rafters ahead. Just kind of goes, "I think I found where he's hiding out, at the very least, or they're hiding out at the very least. Might be not too problematic, but it is for one of the groups. They've most likely either shared the wealth, and therefore you're only going to get a bit of it back, or they've stashed it. In such case, it will be slightly easier to find."
Let's
Right.
hope for the
Well-
second, then.
Hope so. Check the rafters more, see if you can find any classic hiding spots. We'll otherwise handle the gang. Which one is it? It's Rivens. Rivens. Alright.
I don't suppose you'd need some help physically.
If things come to that, we'll rough them up. You can join in if you want.
Excellent.
No killing, just roughing.
Don't worry, I'm very good at not killing things in a very painful manner.
Good. You'd make a good roughman.
I just pull out the maul.
The individual in question you watch as they themselves, they don't pull out a maul, but they pull out what looks to be kind of just a simple mace. Nothing too fancy, nothing too amazing from what you can tell, but they otherwise kind of take a wander. They just kind of wander around. From what you can generally tell, there are more doors closing now as you guys have all drawn your weapons. There seems to be a general air of stuff's about to go down.
If there are any animals about, I'm just going to be calling out to them as I go past, and just again do the same sort of thing of like, has anything, or as we get really close, I think I'm going for, has anything been hidden nearby? Where are the secret places that the two-leggers have hidden things?
Go ahead and roll me again another animal handling check here, please.
Please, dice, be better. Oh, thanks.
15.
Much better. 15.
Okay. 15. As you're otherwise speaking out, you can hear what sounds to be just like the general squeaking and movement of things before a kind of a bat flies down and kind of hangs on one of the rafters nearby and squeaks back to you. "You looking for something?
Treasure hidden recently.
You got
What did
any
you see?
fruit or meat on you for trade?"
If your information's good, certainly.
"Well, I
I'm-
don't want to give up the information without payment first. That's how it works around here. You aren't the only one looking for this."
You can see it, certainly. I pull out a mix of turkey jerky and I still have some blackcurrants.
Okay, roll me a general. I'm going to say roll me a constitution save for those black currants.
Hey, I bought those in this city. They are.
You bought them in the city. Okay, never mind. That's fine. I thought they were ones that you picked for the wild like 2 months ago.
No. Those ones are long gone. I believe those were
Okay.
blueberries, actually.
Oh, okay. Either way. So in which case you hold those out. The bat otherwise goes, "All right then. That looks good to me. Follow me."
All right.
And begins to fly up into the rafters.
Could your man follow that, or do I have to clamber up there?
Follow what?
Never mind. I'll be back in a minute. I've got a grappling hook. I guess I'm gonna use it.
Okay, I'll say that using the grappling hook here will allow you to use athletics in place of acrobatics. So
Thank
go ahead.
you. I need that so bad.
I am going to require 3 checks. They are going to get progressively easier, but should you fail them, you will fall based on how many you have succeeded so far.
Right.
So the risk will decrease, but the potential damage will increase.
Thank you. I will roll my first one now.
Okay. First one, the DC will be 15.
Oh, that is only a 12.
Okay. From a standing leap, you hook the grappling hook up, you jump, you grab hold, but you otherwise slip and land back down. The grappling hook is still in place. You don't take any damage due to it only being a 10-foot fall, but getting up there's going to be difficult. This is just going to take up time. So if you want to try again,
I'm going to
you can.
try that again. The next one. Oh, it's worse. It's by what? You know what? I'm using this dice. This dice is my new friend.
Okay.
So I jump again. It fails.
Okay, and again.
That is 15.
Okay. The individual behind you goes, "Do you need some help there, buddy?" And you're like, "No, I got this." And you just pull yourself up onto it, and then you hear kind of this gentle creak from the wood. You're like, "It's fine."
I'm going to
Unhook your grapple hook,
and
attach it to the next one. On the next one, DC decreases to 14. If you fall now, you will take 2d4 damage.
Can I use one of my rages on this?
Oh yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, because I'll get advantage on this roll, and if I
take
fail,
half
I'll
damage
take
if you fail.
exactly.
Yeah, go for it. So advantage. So go ahead and roll the second one.
I mean, it's already good, but I'm gonna see.
Natural 20. You might be able to climb up to the second one as well.
No.
Okay. But
Again, this dice is cursed. They're all cursed.
Using your strength and your grappling hook, you climb up onto the next one. At this point, you can begin to hear the bat just going, "Come on, this way," as it's beginning to try and lead you further on. Go ahead and make me the last athletics check.
Come
DC's
on.
13.
Oh god, that is only a 12.
Oh.
Oh wait, I have advantage. No, I don't.
If you wish to,
I'm
in this
expending another
instance,
rage.
at this
I'm
instance, the
spending another-
rage would have ended, but I forgot to ask if you wanted to. So if you wish to spend another rage to,
I
roll with
will. I have
advantage.
spent another rage on this.
Okay, go
Because
for
I am a penis.
it.
Oh.
Okay, you fall, but you'll only take half damage, but that is 3d4 damage.
3d4 damage. Would you
So
like to roll?
that's
Helen?
5 plus another 4, so 9 halved to 4. So, as you
I've
otherwise
still
grab
got my
hold,
rage up, I guess. So I'm going.
so it's okay. As you otherwise fall back down, leaving the grappling hook attached above. You'll have to use acrobatics to get up on this next one. After that, you'll be able to use the grappling hook, but you're currently stuck with using acrobatics for this first one. Oh, that was an 11. No, it's still an 11. Total, DC 15.
13.
13.
You have advantage, don't you? Because you
That's-
took
no,
damage.
that's only on
it's
strength.
acrobatics. It's
Oh, of
dexterity
course.
in this instance. As you try to climb back up, you're not able to. To which the
Could I use my action surge?
All right. Just as a pseudo reroll, yeah.
Please.
There we go.
Oh.
You otherwise manage to swing back up onto this same onto this same beam, which, as you otherwise land on, you can then reach onto the rope that's attached to your grappling hook. Go ahead and make me an athletics check.
Please, you motherfucker. 13?
DC's 14 for the second one, I'm afraid.
Oh, I thought you said I reached up to the one where the
No,
rope
you
was.
reached up to. You're on the first one, reaching to the second one, which is a DC 14.
Oh, fuck me.
Well, you fall and take no damage. Oh wait, no, it would be fall and take 2d4 damage. Sorry. Okay, 4 damage.
How high up are these?
This is 20 foot up, so it's mainly you just kind of grabbing hold, falling onto your back, and then getting back up.
Okay. Fuck me. I've got a climbing kit. Can I use that somehow?
Yeah. Okay. I'll say that will decrease the DC by. I'll say decrease the DC by 2 again. Or no.
One last time.
I'll say decreases it by 3 because your proficiency is 3. So go ahead.
One last time.
So this is acrobatics again because you're doing the first rung again.
Come on, please.
So
I'm
DC
bloody
of 12.
begging.
Nope.
That
As you
does not
tried,
work.
as you try to climb up, you otherwise slide off once again. To which there is a whistle from behind you, as the individual goes, "Hey, what is
There's
it
a
you're
bat.
trying to do exactly?"
There's a bat up there that apparently seems to know where everything's hidden, but I can't follow it because I am not
You got
good at verticality.
You got payment for the bat?
I've got payment for the bat.
Otherwise looks up. Give the payment to him.
I
Then
pass
you
it
watch as the goblin individual otherwise climbs across the beam, kind of crouches down.
I pass it over. I describe the bat, I guess.
He's like, "Don't worry, I saw it."
Could you also grab my grappling hook back down if you come back?
Sure.
Thank
The
you.
individual otherwise heads up. You hear a clank moments later as your grappling hook hits the ground in front of you.
Thank
And
you.
the individual otherwise wanders off for a little bit. Do you want to
I'm
wait for
cursed.
that, or... Look, you currently can't see all that much, I imagine, given your state, so... Takes time to get used to the darkness down here.
I'd actually rather go inside there and smack some people. I'm good at that.
You can do that if you want, but if you're going to get your stuff back, then you're just going to cause an unnecessary violence and enemies.
Would you prefer I wait?
I'd rather not have to cause conflict with them.
Fair enough.
Rivens are likely to try and stab you in the dark if you're not careful. And they're more likely to steal from you if you anger them.
Understood. I will remain here.
Okay.
If we do fight them, though, you said no killing, right? Maiming's fine.
Depends how far. No chopping off limbs, just...
Breaking them?
Yeah, it's fine. They'll heal.
Okay, good.
Okay. A few moments later, not too long after, you hear kind of the tapping of feet, and an individual, the goblinoid individual otherwise, crouches back down. Gave the bat the berries. This is what they gave me. And drops a bag in front of you. The bag isn't all that big. It's similar to your pouch, it would seem, but not quite the same.
Similar to my pouch, but let's have a look. I open it up, I guess.
Okay. You find 21 platinum and 17 gold inside. Some of it has been taken, it seems. This is probably the stash of whatever the individual took, or didn't take, or stored for later.
So 20% of that would be 4, approximately.
Yep. 4 and 3, I'll say. 4 platinum, 3 gold.
Fuck, I'm so poor. That's what we've gotten back. Do you
Seems
think
fair.
it's at all worth causing any more trouble for the rest?
Depends. I mean, in this instance, we've helped you out for what money we get out of it. If you want to go in there and cause a rough up with you, then go by it. But we ain't going to get involved at this point. We got what we came for. We got most of what you wanted.
All right. Any suggestions for making sure the same thing doesn't happen again?
Don't wear your purse on the outside of your belt.
I stuff it in my loincloth. I'm gonna feel it if something happens.
Some might not take that money, others will, of course, but
Do not worry, I am well protected in that area.
I'd also recommend that otherwise, if you're looking to find a place to put it in the bank.
Will do.
They may not seem reliable, but they are. Depends on where you're headed, though.
All right. Thank you kindly. What the fuck? Today has not been Romulus's day. Do you know where the fucking Den of Bark is?
Yeah, should just be down the street. Keep going for, I'll say, 5-10 minutes or so, and then take a left. You'll be not far from there.
I'll go there now.
Heading there, I'll say for the sake of brevity, you head there, and otherwise head into the Den of Bark, to which the individuals in there are otherwise carving away, working on wood carvings or carpentry. You're just looking to buy a bit of wood or source a bit of wood somehow.
Indeed.
Okay. What kind of wood and how big are you looking for?
I am looking for something in a cherry oak, if possible.
Okay, cherry oak is not native to this area, so it will cost
What
more.
would be native to the area? I should have asked. I'm sorry.
Mangrove. Hold on, let me get the full list. I have the full list in my document here. Scroll down a bit
Are
further.
any of them not real, by the way?
I'll just need to check the full list. A small variety of hardwoods and softwood trees, such as eucalyptus, palm, birch, and acacia, as well as a thick cultivation of mangrove.
Sorry, eucalyptus, birch, and
Eucalyptus, birch, palm, acacia, and mangrove.
oh, I do like palm wood, but it's
You'll be on the pricier side.
yeah.
Acacia and mangrove will be the two cheapest.
Let's go for the acacia, as
Okay.
that polishes up nicely.
Okay. So, how big are you looking for it?
I was looking for something approximately the size. I'm basically just looking for a board of it, a large sort of sign sort of size. You know, like on
Okay.
the side of a pub, that sort of thing.
Okay. In which case, with that, I'll say that's 5 gold.
I hand
For-
5 gold over.
Okay. You hand the 5 gold over. You now have a treated plank of acacia.
Thank you.
The individuals
then
nod. Send you on your way.
I'm going to swing by the bank and put most of my money in the bank.
Okay. Let me just quickly check what that was. Okay. Unimpeded journey. You encounter nobody else on your journey. Okay. Not literally nobody else, but nobody gets involved or causes you any trouble. So, you head back to the. You head to the bank. How much do you drop off?
I am dropping off, let's say, 12 platinum.
Okay, so that will cost you 3 silver to deposit that.
Okay. Also, was there any left in our bank account from the last catalogus payment thing we got, or was that?
Cat
There-
was there, or did you remove it all?
There was. We left a chunk. We only took some out, and we left a chunk. I can't remember how much we
Yeah.
took though.
I'll have to find that later. For now, you're leaving 120 gold in there. Okay, I will look up that and I'll tell you how much it would be outside the game. But you head back to the tavern. Cat, you are making some runes. Go ahead and make whatever runes you need to make.
How much time have I had?
I'll say you have 5 hours, unless you're going to be joining in the festivities tonight. In which case it will be 3 hours.
Okay, what time's the auction tomorrow?
Tomorrow the auction will be at 10 o'clock in the morning, so you'll need to go to bed soon and get up fairly early.
Okay. Would I have enough time? Would I be able to get up early enough to finish the 6-hour life rune? If I'm going to the festival thing tonight.
If you're going to the festival thing tonight, probably not.
Oh, hang on, no, what am I talking about? I don't even need the life rune for going to the arena. Yeah, no, I can leave it on the desk.
The death room.
I need the death rune. No, I will work on prioritizing another shield rune, and then I will be working on the life rune. So the shield rune, which will be 3 hours, so I'll have whatever's left over. On the life
It
rune?
takes 3 hours, you said?
The shield takes 3 hours.
Okay, so that would run you to the events. You take the events, go to bed, wake up tomorrow, and carry
Okay.
on with the day from there.
Yep, cool. Excellent. That's the plan then. Cool.
Okay. So.
2.
Okay. So, you each go to sleep, unless there's anything else you wish to try and do for the night.
Well, I was going to find the,
The agency. Right.
agency guy.
Okay. You head over to the agency. Heading inside, I'll say that you find your way there fairly easily, if not finding help from the individual. You head inside, seeing the individual in question behind the desk. So, you've come back. Didn't succeed, though, did you?
No, although you could have said a little bit more about what was going to happen. I don't appreciate...
I didn't know the specifics.
All the same, I don't appreciate surprises on this sort of job.
Fair. You were given ample time, though. Gave you over a week to complete it. And yet you did other things.
Other things needed doing.
So, what are you wanting back here, then?
Well, you tell me. Are we done, or are you wanting me to go after those people? If so, I'm going to need more information.
You don't need to go after those people. Those people are the outsourced individuals. The item that was stolen, that I'll have you retrieved, was going to go back to the auctioneer's owner. But instead, they were stolen by somebody else who was actually the winner of the auction. So they paid the individual and stole the item off of this Polique brew. Did away with them in the process, from what I gather. You got out of the stick. So there's no further things that need to be done there. If that's what you're asking. No further jobs, no further nothing. If you're still looking for the information, I can come up with some other job if you want, but I understand you're on house arrest, effectively. Or city arrest. And then you got work outside of the city, which is fair enough. With the work you're making, though, you might be getting paid enough. You might be able to afford to pay me instead of doing me favours.
How much do you want?
So, given you know some of the information already, say 150. I'm aware you're looking for this Carverne character, and I'm aware that you've spoken to Red Riot as well. So you know some of it. Not all of it. This will be for a good bit of juicy information. The rest of it I'll let you figure out, or you can pay more for. But there is a contracted name in there which I can't mention. That does dampen the price of this.
Someone you've had contact with?
Someone who I used to, yeah. I'm under contract and under previous payment to not say another word about them. But I'm sure you'll encounter them soon enough.
Interesting. 150, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, I will hand over the money. This better be worth it.
Your friend Carverne is currently chasing Cassius. From what I understand, Cassius betrayed you all. The blade you carry on your back was his, a gift from the person he works for now. Can't say I know the name of the person, though that's not the name I'm hiding. I just don't know. Carverne doesn't either, nor does Red Riot. For now, all I know is that she has headed southeast to reconnect with some of her kin. She's gone to try and find those of the Ice King's lineage. Try and get some allies on her side. For some reason, she was immune to whatever happened to you that day. Not entirely sure what it was. Something about memories and forgetfulness. She doesn't hold a grudge, but is still careful of you. So she doesn't know whether you're a friend or foe. As far as she's concerned, you were being controlled at the time. Whether you still are is unbeknown to her.
Well, southeast is useful. Anything else?
The thing I can't tell you is that there is somebody who I am contracted to keep the name and whereabouts of under wraps in this city who she is looking for. Someone who's working with Cassius and your enemy as a whole. Someone who I'm sure you'll meet soon enough, either by chance, luck, or quite possibly on purpose. We'll have to see. So in terms of what you know, in terms of anything on that desire, know that you've got enemies in a lot of places. And if you are indeed on her side, then you've got enemies in this city and many others. The only other things I can say is be wary of individuals in silver garments. Any and all of them are dangerous. Not all of them are connected, but they can be dangerous. Some wear it for fashion. Others wear it as a symbol. It's up to you on how you'll have to figure out how to discriminate one from the other. They're very tricky. Even my group haven't figured out how to differentiate the two yet. We only know one member and I'm under contract. Which is a shame about, because if things go tits up, I'd rather I didn't have that conscience on me. But payment's payment. Legal connection's legal connection.
Can I get a sense of what he means by legal connection? Is it just in the sense that he signed a contract to not say anything, or is there something more there?
Roll me an insight check. So this is his deception. He's a +6 in this. That is a 12 on his part. Cool. You pick up, looking him over and generally getting an idea of what he means by legal connection, is that there are a few things it could be. There's no definitive answer necessary, but he's not defending the person by any means, or their actions. All he's doing is saying that he has potentially worked with them before. Either they pay him a lot of money to keep their names scrubbed from his records, or there's something else at play here. You gather that the first one being potentially that they go back away is possible, but given the nature of it, you would expect that they might have done something about it, or maybe they cut ties. But they're probably still receiving money or something in exchange. I'll say with that insight check, you can tell that he's not comfortable keeping the information under wraps, but is bound to do so. Which could cost him his reputation, his life, or other things. You're not entirely certain. You're willing to part with 25 gold, I can tell you, as somebody who's wanted to speak to you lot. Could use your third day for that if you wanted.
Why would someone want to speak to us?
Let's just say they're interested in your involvement with all of this. They have ties. to something similar. Not specifically to you necessarily, but to one of your companions. You interested?
It was 25 gold, he said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will take up the money. You have a name then? And a location of where I can find them?
Indeed. Let me just quickly scroll to the information. The individual goes by the name of the Masked Taskmaster. They live in an establishment, one of the leaf cutter safe houses, called the Vale's Mist down here in the dark alleys. As far as you're concerned, it is a pub and druggery. It's a soothing parlour, if you will. You won't be allowed entry, not without the proper symbolism, of which I believe you and your friend might already have.
I don't think that'll be a problem.
In terms of meeting with them, I could send word saying that they'll meet with you in a couple days if you want. Or I can let you handle it from there. I'd recommend going in with an open mind, however. The individual is very keen on meeting you all.
Wouldn't be my first time dealing with unsavory people. Fine.
Fair enough.
Let them know I'm willing to meet.
Understood. I'll pass the message on right away. I'll leave you to it. And the door opens.
Okay, I will leave.
Okay. You leave. And head back to the tavern? Or the Firefly Stacks?
Yeah.
Okay. You otherwise head back to the Firefly Stacks, where you meet with your companions, and the rest, and proceed to enjoy the night's festivities, which we will get to describing next time, I think, as it is about time that we stop there. So, oh my goodness, stop it. And so, as we end there on a rather peculiar episode of Crabby DnD, I sign off for the time being.
I
Thank
hate
you for watching.
everything.
Indeed.
Just adding that in there.
You lost money. I'm sorry. I'm not, but yes. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.